Hello, everybody. This is episode 36 of the Keep It Rolling podcast. I'm Kyle Perkins. I'm here with Joey Deal.
As always.
And Shawn Murphy.
Oh, man. Botched.
Murray sounds very maybe,
Scottish.
Yeah, I was going to say foreign.
Close enough.
Which you are foreign, aren't you? Are you from Ireland?
Like great-grandparents.
Great-grandparents? Okay.
I think you and me got a lot of the same heritage. Yeah.
Irish?
Shawn Murphy?
Yeah. We're probably a little more Scottish and just don't know it.
Probably.
Yeah,
Why is that? Why would you say that?
This was a big with like the Ireland having North Ireland and South Ireland. When they went to war with Britain moved a large constituency of Scottish people into Ireland.
They booted him from Scotland?
From Britain, I believe, maybe, or some place that Britain owned, but they moved a bunch of Scottish people into Ireland. So there's a lot of people who are Scottish but believe they're Irish because that's where they grew up. Yeah, and so that's like a really
what
interesting.
are you?
I'm a mutt.
You're a mutt?
Yeah, I'm a lot of things. I'm like Norwegian, Scottish, Irish,
I wish I was Norwegian.
German. I think Deal's German.
I got a good amount of German in me too.
Yeah, you do. Just kidding. So Shawn Murphy, that's his real
Murphy,
name.
okay.
Yes,
Shawn Murphy, welcome, buddy. We've been wanting to have a podcast with you for a long time. I know this was a request from a few people for a while. Because you're one of our OGs. I think you started training at the school probably like, we opened in March of 2021. I think you were trained by like May.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, right after. I remember the old school before any of this was here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
He was training back when we had one tiny little wrestling mat. Were you still there for that?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, the wrestling mat, the goofy...
Weird walls, painted
goofy
yellow.
painting on the walls.
Building was yellow.
This place wasn't pretty. I think it's pretty. I think it looks good now.
Looks beautiful.
What do you think? It's different?
Yeah.
And
It's come a long way.
you're buddies with Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco.
Rocco, we always try to give him a shout out. Rocco, by the way, Rocco,
Back to training.
back in the game. He came back to the mat this week.
Right to comp class.
Yeah.
Right back to hard training. He sparred on Saturday. And he's all gung ho.
He's ready to go.
So we'll see how long it lasts.
Have you talked to him? Since he trained on Friday?
every single day.
Is he sore?
He's like acting like he's not.
Really?
He's like, I don't know.
He's too fired up to be
He's
sore.
too fired up to be sore.
Yeah.
He's excited. So I know you're buddies with him. Like, how did you find the school? I know you've been training before. You trained before.
Yeah, so I trained at Hackney's Combat out in Roselle, and they kind of moved around a little bit. It was kind of changing coaches. It was kind of one of those gyms where it was like you never knew where you were going to get. But yeah, so the reason I found this place was Bolo, actually.
Oh, Nick
Yeah.
Bohannes.
Yeah.
Another blue belt of ours who
Shout out
he's
Nick.
super tough.
Yeah.
Crazy tough.
Nick's a
He's
rough
like
round no matter what.
He's the definition of just a tough dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well, it's that old school style, right?
Yeah.
I mean, him and his brother kind of grew up on the same stuff, kind of like what you saw with Jeff and
Yeah. MMA. I knew Nick from MMA.
Yeah.
Not well, but we fought on some of the same cards.
Okay.
I think we fought on the Sears Center at the Sears Center together.
Okay.
He was an amateur. I was a pro.
Okay.
But I remember him. I remember his face. I remember. And
Probably just mess people up.
I think you knocked someone out. I knocked someone out that night too. And I remember like him fighting earlier and seeing that fight. And then like he popped up, started training because he friends with Tim. They're all police officers in Hoffman Estates. And when he came out, I was just like, man, he's so familiar. He's super rough. And like I was like, oh. And they told me he fought. And he said Sears Center. I was like, oh yeah, we
I
know
remember
each
you.
other. Yeah.
yeah. He's got some heavy hands, man.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh man,
So you've been training with him
hands
since
are
you were
rough.
young, then, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember my mom pretty much dropped me off at the gym where you got to sign the waiver because you're not old enough. I wasn't driving yet, so I was probably like 14,
Oh, wow.
15. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I didn't know it was that young.
Way
yeah.
earlier than me.
Yeah. So and then I kind of just
But it was all MMA, right?
yeah, it was more stand up. Honestly, it was more Muay Thai. We had a striking coach from Lithuania. His name was Dimitri, who kind
I
of
heard
ran.
he was tough.
Yeah,
Was Hackney ever there?
How many eagle claws? Did you get a lot of claw work?
A lot of claw work.
Yeah, because dude, for anyone who doesn't know Keith Hackney, he's as old school as it gets. UFC, I think 3 was his first. I think he was in UFC 3 is when he fought.
2 or 3. One
I think it was UFC 3 where he fought Emmanuel Yarborough.
Yep.
For anyone who doesn't know this, you go look it up because it's just like the early days of fighting, and a lot of it was spectacle based. And this is as dramatic of a match you can see. You have a 700-pound sumo guy fighting Keith Hackney, who has the most badass pajama pants on and a tank top that is spaghetti straps on his shoulders.
And he's just out of his mind.
He just first punch just breaks his hand on this 700-pound guy's head and then just keeps using his broken hand against. Keith Hackney was a psycho. I love it.
Did he not fight the next round because of that?
I think he taped his hand up and just kept going. But I think he lost.
Yeah.
He didn't win the UFC, any of the tournaments, but he was in a few of them.
Did he fight? He fought Hoyce at one, didn't he?
Hoyce, yeah.
And he was
UFC 4.
And he was telling them all before, like, I've been training jiu-jitsu. I don't think that's going to immediately Hoyce just took him down. Like,
not immediately. It was a tough one. Yeah. I mean, they were scrapping a little bit. I think Hoyce eventually extended his arm, got an arm bar.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's crazy though watching that to what it is now.
Oh my God,
totally different.
Totally different worlds. Yeah. So were you watching the UFC as a 14-year-old and like thinking like, oh, that's why I want to get into it?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think that was more like we were past that point in time. I
mean, that's those. But did you know Keith Hackney because of the UFC? And
yeah. Well, he was a Lake Park guy. I went to Lake Park High School.
Oh wow.
So he was like a 2 or 3 time state champ wrestler there. So I knew of him.
Oh, he's like a living legend.
Yeah, he's a Roselle guy, so it's
imagine how cool that would have been if like Tito Ortiz wrestled at your high school or something. You would have definitely fought. Yeah.
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
From Mumbai, India.
Indiana.
We like Tito Ortiz memes.
Man. I'm getting faster, stronger, and younger.
Some of his interviews are great.
Yeah,
it's just a classic.
Me and Tim every day sends me at least one Tito Ortiz video from Instagram of Tito Ortiz like just botching a interview, like the one where he throws the mic up in the air after he hits him in the head.
I mean, honestly though, Joey put me onto the best part of it is that almost like a good 90% of them. The first comment on there is Dana White commented, "That's my boy," and it's really Dana.
Dana White
says he spent all day doing
his
they
official.
hate each other, right?
Yes.
They were going to fight at one point.
Yeah, the storyline there is super fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it, but Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell were both managed by Dana White.
Okay.
Right before and during the initial purchase of the UFC for Dana White and the Fertittas to be like the new owners.
Because Dana was managing.
Dana wasn't the owner. Dana was just the president that his rich friends kind of put him in that role.
Right.
And of course, I don't know enough about it to talk about it all the way, but he was their manager at the time, and then there was a falling out.
Because Dana was managing Chuck when Chuck would fight in Pride and stuff, right? Dana would be the guy who would go over
Dana was
with
the
them.
manager in general. Yeah. Super interesting.
But he got in Dana. I remember him getting in shape.
My boy.
he was gonna fight Tito.
Oh yeah, so that was way later, right?
Yeah.
So that was like 2006, 7, something like that. That was
a real thing.
Oh yeah. He
It was also
about
Dana was sparring. He did like his own weigh in at his gym.
They did a whole bad blood documentary series for it.
I would love Tito's reasoning. Yeah, why he didn't do it?
Because what does he win, lose or draw? None of it is good. Even if Dana White just didn't get killed, it would have been embarrassing because Tito was.
Then
go
kill him, Tito. Go
I don't
kill
know if
him.
he could, though. I'm just being honest. It's boxing. If it was one thing, Tito's boxing wasn't
no, it wasn't
ever,
great,
and still isn't.
I mean, he doesn't even know what his left and right hook is. You see that one?
Left hook to the body. Oh god.
We love you, Tito.
Tito, if you ever want to be a guest
on the podcast,
I know he's not listening. Don't worry. Say whatever you want.
What is that guy doing now? Anything?
Tito, he tried. So 2 things, which just the myth of it is just so good. He ran for some political. I don't know what role, like a comptroller of Huntington Beach.
Okay,
something. He wasn't going for the mayor,
sheriff, something,
and the videos of him running for it so bad. And then the last I heard is that he opened a restaurant, a Mex-Tex restaurant, and the reviews are so bad. And the jokes are just the reviews. At one point, they just someone ordered a hamburger and it was just a hot dog chopped up. That's all we got.
Tito's just in back.
Oh man.
Well, he's Huntington Beach
bad
boy,
right? Baby. Yeah.
I just still the thing that kind of breaks my heart is a little bit is I still remember him on when they do the press conferences, him sitting on a panel and him turning and looking at Dana and being I mean, he thinks I'm going to fight when I'm 30. I'm not going to be one of those guys who fight when I'm 30. And then he's 50 boxing Anderson getting knocked out. And you're yo, that did not work out well,
Yeah, I don't know how old he was.
He was young.
I don't know if he was 50. But I don't even know if he's 50 now.
He was, what I'm saying, he was 40. He was up there, and it's just funny that he was fighting when he was really
early
young.
20s.
Yeah.
When he first, I mean, he's old school too. He's back in the teens of
He fought Vitor
UFC.
really old back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And beat Vitor.
Yeah.
Well, who did he have the big rivalry with? Was
Ken
it
Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock.
No.
Oh yeah,
Ken
the
Shamrock.
Shamrock
Yeah,
before that. Yeah.
Chuck, that's old. That's the new school. They're still fighting today.
Man.
But him and
Shamrock.
Ken Shamrock, that's legendary stuff. That's
They
UFC.
had 4 fights. Franco won. I mean,
No. So yeah, let me pull back some memory
Okay.
banks. So like, it started at Young Guns. Do you remember Young Guns?
Nope.
So Young Guns is the name of, I think it was a UFC 19, and Tito Ortiz fights Guy Metzger.
okay.
And Guy Metzger was Ken Shamrock's boy.
Right.
He was like, and Guy is awesome. He was actually one of my favorite fighters when I was younger. I thought he was like the perfect package. He was
He was part of the Lions Den, right?
he was the Lions Den mythic group at the time. It's like
Yep.
they were the shit.
Yeah.
And Tito Ortiz beats Guy Metzger and then celebrates and does his thing where he drags him in and starts flipping off the corner because Ken was screaming stuff or whatever.
Yep.
And then that was the start of it, and then you get peeled apart. And that's like UFC 19 or something. And then, they're just a rivalry, always, just going back and forth. And it's kind of before the time of like the popularity of the fight, of the sport in general and social media.
Okay.
So imagine how much more fun it would have been
Yes.
if it was like today's world. It would have been everywhere because
Yeah.
they were just two idiots. And I love Ken Shamrock too, but two not bright people who want to talk shit. It's one thing when you have and I'm not saying Connor's genius. He's probably dumb too.
He's a
you know
little
what I mean?
clever.
But he's very
Yeah.
I think more clever when he was young.
He was
just
quick.
just so
Yeah, witty.
sharp-witted. That's a fucking skill that most
Yeah,
people don't
for
have.
So maybe the social media, it was probably better that you only got to see them every once
Yeah.
in a while. And when they did, they were so pissed because they hadn't
Oh,
seen each
dude.
other like two dogs.
And personally, I as a little kid, I loved Ken Shamrock.
Okay.
I thought Ken Shamrock to me was a living.
He was a savage back then,
He
man.
was a living action figure.
Now this will show my Ken fought Tito or Frank
Yeah,
fought Tito.
Ken.
They both did.
They both did. Okay.
Yeah.
Who fought him a
But
bunch?
the rivalry was Ken and Tito.
Yeah.
The rivalry was
and
Ken.
there's a rivalry. I mean, we could go all day on this
Yeah.
history of it. Frank and Ken are not real brothers.
Yes, they're like
They're
adopted brothers.
They had their own rivalry and whatnot too. I mean, it's like there's so many twists and turns in the story.
Yeah.
but Ken and Tito, that UFC 40 was the biggest the number one pay-per-view for a long time. Not just at that time, but then for a few years after, until like UFC 60 when Hoist Gracie came back and fought
Hughes.
Matt Hughes.
Okay.
That was like the next big event, and they had some good shows, but that was the next time that they had a pay-per-view event that was worth money,
Okay.
like real money. But yeah, that UFC 40 was huge. Do you remember it?
I
UFC
can't
40?
particularly.
So
Yeah,
that was the main event was Tito Ortiz and Ken Shamrock,
Well,
and Tito
they-
just messed him up
Okay.
for 5 rounds.
Because they were the coaches on the show.
So then that was the second time they fought.
Gotcha.
That was
Okay.
the Ultimate Fighter season 3. So they bring they're trying to make this stuff exciting, right? So
Yeah.
season 1 happens and it blows up. Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner. That's the main event, and the Ultimate Fighter becomes a spectacle where everyone's talking about it. It got popular. That's 2005, and that's where as our generation, you probably remember that.
yeah. I mean, yeah, a
Probably
little.
8th grade or whatever. And,
Yeah.
it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember
then-
watching that fight live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. 100%. I watched the whole season,
Right,
dude.
right.
It was so good. It was so good.
Fucking
Yeah.
yeah.
Chris Lee, all of it so good. But then season 2 wasn't very popular comparatively.
Okay.
Because they didn't have good coaches. And you went from Tito Ortiz, you went from Chuck Liddell and
Couture, right?
and Couture,
Yeah.
and then they fought at the end. And then second season, it was supposed to be someone else. It didn't happen, and it ended up being 2 friends. It was Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin as the main coaches. They didn't end up
weird.
fighting. It was a weird thing. So second season, they're like, we need some drama. So season 3, they bring back the biggest fight of all time back then. And, this guy who hasn't been fighting at all, Ken Shamrock, and Tito Ortiz, who, is kind of on his downward slope of his career. But the show is terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember watching it. You know who won that season? Do you remember? Kendall Grove. Do you remember
Oh yeah,
Kendall
yeah,
Grove?
I remember Kendall Grove, yeah.
Kendall Grove
He had
won.
some success not in the UFC, but he shot to Bellator.
Yeah,
right?
he had some good success all
Yeah.
over. I mean, he was the Spider.
Yeah.
DA Spider.
He was a big boy.
He was tall.
He's a
6'6",
long
yeah.
boy. Yeah.
And then who else won that season? A big name who ended up winning the belt at middleweight.
That wasn't
Michael Bisping.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Bisping
Michael
one.
Bisping.
And Bisping won it like had a heavy weight class.
205.
Yeah, it was a big weight class, right?
He became the middleweight champ. I mean, 12 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a guy who just never gave up.
He's got a cool story.
Well, and at that time he was
To
undefeated,
lose
right?
his eyeball for the sport.
Yeah.
Literally, he has no eye. He has one eye.
Yeah.
And was still just fighting. And like, how did that slip under the radar?
Well, and
how
then-
did people let him?
And
how
then
did
he goes and
commissions let him
coaches
fight?
the Ultimate Fighter too, so to win it and then go coach
Oh, yeah.
it too. That's a
Couple
cool
people have
story.
done
You know,
that,
it's
yeah.
a cool. You know, it's a lot of cool.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Serra has I think, a more interesting, cooler
Yeah.
evolution being on the show, season 4. Do you remember that?
Yep.
He
Is that
won-
the comebacks?
Yeah, the comeback.
Good old Gideon Ray.
Gideon Ray, who's another local,
Hackney's guy.
Yeah, another Chicago legend.
Yeah.
Rest
classic.
in peace, right? Did he die?
No,
Who
he's
did,
still
who did
with us.
Sarah?
Sorry.
Who did
He
Sarah
rides
beat in the
horses with
final?
Jeremy
thinking of?
now.
What's that?
He rides horses with Jeremy.
No way.
Yeah, swear to God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cowboy
Who am I thinking of?
lifestyle.
Someone else passed away from Chicago. Someone else, but
Was Bonner from Chicago?
not recipe.
Yeah, Bonner
Stephen
was from
Bonner
Chicago,
definitely
yeah.
just recently died.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it was a sad one.
That's
Rest in
that's
peace.
a sad story.
R.I.P. So we got
Don't
someone.
do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Well, but honestly, I mean, probably a little bit of an alcoholic, but right, they were giving him pills, and
Pills,
that really
yeah.
messed him up too.
Well,
I
I'll
mean,
tell you
the
too,
combination of those
the
two
only
is bad.
Yeah.
the only history I have with him, my first ever fight, Outdoor War 2009 or 2008 or something. Stephen Bonner was there, and I was a big fan of the Ultimate Fighter. So like, after my fight, Stephen Bonner, I ran into him, and he's like, "Hey, I saw your fight. Good job."
That's
I was
awesome.
like, "Yeah, I'm a big fan." It was really cool. It's like
Was he on season 1?
season 1. Yeah, he was the
main
finale.
event.
Yeah, he was the
He fought
him and
Forrest.
Forrest
Oh,
won.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the legendary.
And
fight.
honestly, that's a close fight.
Yeah.
It's funny to think it's
yeah, I mean, yeah, totally.
a really
fight.
close fight, right? Yeah, I mean, they beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, like not a great fight.
No, they just slugged it, bro.
Which goes to say something too, like drawing it back to what we recently have done. Kyle and we brought a whole team. Shawn was there. We went to Vegas and we got to go to the biggest grappling events of all time, arguably. We went to the ADCC World Championships, but at the same time, right across the street, 20 minutes away, or an hour walk for us, was
walk. Yeah.
the CJI, the Craig Jones Invitational. And the reason why I brought it up is I see the similarities and the parallels between the Ultimate Fighter. That first season when Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin went to war, and it was like, man, was it the best fight? Probably not. There was probably more technical fighters and better fighters even, who fought on the same card even or whatever. But it was the perfect moment. It felt really perfect, and it was a good demonstration of why this sport could be popular.
Yep.
And I felt like we had something similar with the CJI, and I do believe these are some of the best grapplers in the world. But like watching Cade Rotolo, Ty Rotolo, all the Rotolo brothers and the Tackett brothers.
Yep.
And that match, was it Cade, right?
So it was Cade and Andrew was
versus
the
Andrew
best one,
Tackett
yeah.
Was a match that was like,
But Ty too.
Ty had some great.
Ty had the good one with Null, and then
Yeah,
Ty had the
Null.
one against Levi.
that was
where
one of
his
my
knee-
favorite. Yeah. But yeah, I think the Tackett one.
The Tackett Cade
Man,
one won the
that
same match of the
went
year.
and
I watched it again yesterday the other day.
Did you? Yeah,
it's
I
just
watched
awesome,
it on
huh?
YouTube,
Yep.
and it had that same feeling. Being there live too it's just you could feel it. Where like this is some people like myself, I've always tried to tell people like jiu-jitsu can be really, really exciting. And then I would say that, and then a match would go on, like someone would watch like on Flow Grappling, and it would be like, this is really not that fun. to
Levi
watch.
and Paulo Meow.
Just,
You're like,
it's like you're watching two people. It's like, okay,
pulling each other's pants off, trying to go to the back, and like
and which is the case with MMA. Not every fight is going to be the most exciting fight. But we saw a good example of like, man, jiu-jitsu could be one of the most exciting things.
Yeah.
I again watching it the other day. I think it's so interesting to see when people are throwing like the Uchimata in the pit. It works like so differently. Like it's like I just felt like it was like they're getting thrown into this angle where like if you get thrown into the wall, you don't get thrown as much, and if you get thrown to the floor, you can kind of land face down and start to get up. But the pit made it where they were like getting launched into this weird angle. Like,
I'll throw you without the pit.
oh, I was not saying won't throw me. I just thought it was
throw him
really,
right
I thought it was really
Shawn,
interesting.
grab Uchimata right now.
Oh man, do you want a hotel room wrestle,
Dude.
So just to draw it back to what we did. So let's go back to how you been feeling with your jiu-jitsu. So you competed for the first time in a while. We'll say that he hadn't competed maybe in a year. I think the
Close
first
to it, yeah.
maybe a year.
Probably right around the year mark.
when you were Wisconsin that one time?
Wisconsin was the last time you competed, I believe.
Wisconsin or Barrington? I don't know which one came first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you competed with like Tim that one time. We all went, right? I think it was like American Grappling Federation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then he went. I think you did Naga
Wisconsin.
after that
Yeah.
in Wisconsin. I think. I could
I
be wrong.
remember, yes, that was
I think it
definitely the order.
Grappling Industries, right?
Something like that. But I
Yeah,
remember where I was
Grappling
coached it.
Industries.
Yeah, I remember coached it. Yeah.
So I think that was at least a year ago, maybe. And then you're like, all right, I think we planned this for your birthday, right? Did your wife buy the?
She did.
It was like your birthday present
Yeah.
to go to Vegas to watch the World Championships, and this was before CJI was even a thought.
An
It wasn't
idea.
it wasn't even an idea.
Mo hadn't talked shit to Craig yet. Yeah.
For those who know the story of that, it's a great story. But all right, so you were planning on going. I don't think you were planning on competing though yet. You just were going to go. And
I mean, I
watch.
kind of had the idea that if I were going, I was
Like, fuck it.
competing.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, ADCC every 2 years does the World Championships. But what they've started doing, I think last time was the first time they did it 2 years ago. And I think that's when I had that idea in my head. At least I was watching and being like, I'm definitely going to go there next time and do the Open. So the Open is anyone can sign up for it. But we got to compete at the T-Mobile Arena, which that's where the World Championships were. So that's one of the coolest things to say to someone is that we got to grapple at T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Because T-Mobile Arena is no joke. That's a...
Oh yeah, I mean, and even just warming up and back by like the locker rooms and stuff.
It's just badass. You know that there's a lot of stuff that's happening.
A lot of history there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of fights and UFC fights that have happened.
A lot of stuff that will happen there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's still newer.
That's
Yeah.
a cool thing to think.
So you got to be there.
It was awesome.
I'm glad you did it too.
Yeah.
So we made this trip out to Vegas, and you hadn't competed in a while, but now you've come back. It's been I think it's been like 3 weeks, right? I don't
2 or
remember.
3, maybe
Yeah.
only 2.
I don't even know.
3 weeks now, I think.
It's been
yeah.
like 3 weeks later. How's your jiu-jitsu going now? Did you have some fun today?
I had fun, yeah, and I feel good. I mean, I think just every time you compete, you pick something up and learn from it. So I mean, yeah, I feel good. Rolling around with you guys, and
I got a video of Kyle and Shawn rolling for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm putting this phone down.
Okay. I wanna train too.
And then you guys kept rolling.
Yeah. I thought that was important. We were just, you've been playing with some leg lock stuff, and I think it's a good opportunity for you to see. I think it'll be glaringly obvious to you in some positions when your legs are kind of hanging out there a little bit. So I think it's good to film some
let's
stuff.
do that. Let's close out the idea of your starting in jiu-jitsu. We kind of talked about Keith Hackney's, but we'll talk a little bit more. And then I want to really talk about the Vegas trip and what you got out of competing in Vegas and all that. But just to go back, so as a 14-year-old kid, your mom drops you off at Keith Hackney's school.
yeah.
So you're going in there with eagle claws and probably some cool pants like Zumba pants or whatever, and you're probably all like ready to do some karate. It's like, did you go in there knowing anything about jiu-jitsu, or is it all?
It was
about
more.
fighting?
It was more striking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I went in there. I had no idea what to expect, and then you kind of come across all the guys like Nick and Louie and all those guys. We had a couple like Mustafa who fought. You might have known him.
Yeah. Lighter weight.
Yeah, smaller guy. So I mean, dude, there was some killers in there. I didn't really know what to expect, but no, I went in there, got my ass whooped. Like,
Were you sparring full like?
Oh yeah, they throw you
right away.
They throw you right into it. I mean, that's just how it was, right?
Yeah, I guess.
14-year-old kid fighting Bolo.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, he was still at that time.
He's 15.
I don't care. 15-year-old Bolo's scary. It's a man.
He's knocking out grown men for sure.
Yeah. But for sure, it was it was.
Did you in your head have visions of you competing in MMA, like trying to fight?
Yeah, definitely.
Did you ever?
I didn't. I came close a couple times, but
Really?
I played hockey too, so I kind of like chose that path. I stuck with MMA just to kind of stay in shape because I liked it
For fun.
Yeah, and I mean I became good friends with all these guys too. So I kind of went more the hockey route, stayed involved in MMA. We had this kid, Hussein, who fought Shorty a couple times. Shorty Torres I think he fights out of like Cicero, or I don't know where he's at now.
Jose Torres.
Yeah. And then we had Bolo, his older brother Louie, one of my good buddies John Samp, who fought. So it was like, even though I'd never competed and fought, I was always a part of their camps and
That's cool.
saw that side of it, and like I said, stayed in shape. So
what happened with training? So after high school, did you train with them after high school?
yeah.
Okay, so you did it for many years.
Yeah, so the original school was out in Roselle, and then it kind of.
You met Rocco through there too, just so I know Rocco. Didn't he train there?
Yeah, I caught him like I didn't.
Rocco
I never
fits
really,
there.
Rocco told me too.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we were just sparring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, I never learned anything. We just
We're
sparred.
just throwing
Yeah.
punches.
I remember Rocco. I never got like that close with him back then.
It's such a small world. It's so funny.
Yeah, but he was one of the OGs there.
So did you have any any moments in time? So when did that school close?
Yeah. So
or did you move away? Did you ever have some time where you weren't training?
Yeah, there was a time, probably about a year and a half, that I took off where there was really no training, and it was kind of because I was, lived in Roselle, then we moved to Streamwood, and then we headed out towards like Huntley area.
That's where you live now?
Yeah, that's where I live now. So the original school was in Roselle. Keith closed that down, and then Dimitri kind of took, me, Nick, Louie, kind of the core group of guys, and opened a gym out in Schaumburg.
Nice.
So we were there training. I was training pretty consistently, and we were there for about 2 years, and then that gym closed down, and then he started up a place in Villa Park, and it was kind of just to the point where it was just that drive was. I did it as much as I could, but it got old pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then there was kind of a a lapse.
Did you ever feel at that point you were doing jiu-jitsu, or did you still feel like have you ever? Because jiu-jitsu is just not even a thing there, right? Like it was, it was just ground fighting or grappling part of MMA.
I mean, it was like, most of it was striking, right? So you go there.
I remember Rocco telling me one time, like Keith taught something, and it was like a headlock, and like he just like, you punch him here when you're in the headlock, and like that was our grappling.
So I grabbed their head and I punch.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So like what was your experience with jiu-jitsu then? How did we get to this? Now you as a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, legitimate too. Like I think you're really tough. I've had you
tough.
You've gone out and you've trained at different schools. You've rolled with other blue belts.
Yeah.
You've competed now,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the level. Man, it's wild to think if you've been trained since you were 14, but you didn't really train jiu-jitsu at all.
No, I mean, I did a little bit of wrestling. I wrestled my freshman year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then funny thing is, Bolo, my sophomore year going into wrestling season, he broke my ribs.
So you didn't get to wrestle?
We were sparring, so I didn't wrestle that year.
He kicked you?
No, it was just a body shot.
Oh, God
But
I told you, he's an animal.
Dude, but back then I was walking around. I was probably like
130 pounds,
135 pounds.
And Bolo's big. I think I bet he was even big as a kid. He's just
he's a big
head.
Yeah, and his brother's even bigger.
Yeah.
Louis.
I love those
nasty.
guys. We have to get Bolo on the podcast.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be exciting.
He's got some good stories.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I wrestled, but then I kind of shifted a little bit. I kind of focused more on hockey and kind of got into the gym as much as I could, just sparring and whatnot. But yeah, dude, my first legit ground, experience from the learning aspect was here.
Really?
Where it was organized and
that's
where
awesome.
you could actually learn something, right? You're not just trying to survive.
Well,
Some days it still feels like that. But.
Yeah. Well, but I knew, and I knew that you had some experience grappling. I could just feel it. Obviously, MMA, you're exposed to it, but then also feeling that you were so raw and more strength dependent. You were dependent on how strong your grip was, how dependent on your ability to scramble out of a problem. Yeah. Similar to Bolo. Bolo's a similar thing,
The goal is not to win with the grappling. It's just
it
not
wasn't
to lose,
a technical exchange. It was more of a physical exchange, and I think that's good. But it definitely is. Maybe even sometimes bad habits of you've learned how to just fucking flip out of a scenario.
Well, so it's you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we have to relearn sometimes things, but it's been really exciting to see you go from someone who I remember just a tough round. Same with Bolo, just tough round to now a fun, interesting round where you can exchange information with someone. It's way more exciting, way more interesting than just a tough guy.
Than just a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. There is I guess I shouldn't say that, but there are a lot of tough people in the world.
Yep.
Not that many, but
they're out there.
But there is just tough people out in the world who don't train at all, and they're just always going to be a tough fight.
Yep.
I'm not that impressed.
Yeah.
That doesn't impress me as much.
Yeah.
As you taking the time to study and learn something. Now you're a mental challenge.
Yeah. Well, that's the hard part, right? The
It
easy
is.
part, if you're tough, it's easy.
You didn't have to try for that. You could just fucking come out of the womb just tough.
Right.
Just think it right
Yeah.
there. Yep.
But-
you think I'm gonna quit? Yeah. Just have that in your head.
We know some people who are just built different.
Yeah. Just bag of wrenches. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Anything else when it comes to your origin? I'm really. It's cool for me to actually sit down and talk to you because I knew this, but I didn't really know it that well. I didn't even know you started that young.
Yeah.
14 is so fucking young.
That's when you started, man.
Yeah. 14 years old for my birthday.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I started that young, but I didn't start. When I started, it was nothing like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You kind of probably saw the same stuff.
Yeah,
similar.
I mean, with where I started and the goal for me was fighting. Even at 14, I was like, I'm gonna do MMA. That was the only reason I wanted to do it. But I believe, fortunate to be in a place where I got really good exposure to a technical storyline of jiu-jitsu. So I learned a lot about grappling, you know, being in Crystal Lake with Jeff Kern and being able to like have a legitimate legacy of jiu-jitsu, right? So with Pedro Sauer and it being real jiu-jitsu versus, you know, there's a lot of people who do MMA in different locations around the Midwest
that taught themselves jiu-jitsu.
Who just taught themselves, like they watched videos and you know, they didn't have a really good guidance with their grappling. I'm talking about jiu-jitsu in particular.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see, you know, that you enjoy grappling more than just getting punched right now, right? I mean, think about where you are in your life now.
Yeah. I mean, things have definitely changed, right?
You're not 14-year-old kid who's okay with just getting kicked in the head,
breaking
ribs every time you come to training. You know, so I'm glad you still see the value and the joy in just learning to grapple more. Yeah. Because you don't even spar anymore. You don't do any.
No, I mean, I'm gonna make it in one of these days.
Yeah, Saturdays are fun.
Yeah, it's
you know
tough.
what? Kyle's shaking his head. Nah,
coming, dude.
I want Kyle. I want Kyle.
I want you to spar with
If
Kyle.
you come, I'm suiting up.
Kyle doesn't spar often, but if you walk in the door, I guarantee you will. It'll be Vegas all over again.
You'll pique the dog's interest.
Well, we had like this weekend was so much fun. Yesterday we sparred and we had
Kenny talked the whole group in.
Kenny loved it. Kenny was, you know, Kenny always loves it. But we had 2 irregulars. We had Rocco back in the fold, who is one of my favorite sparring partners. Rocco's tough.
Yeah.
Surprisingly tough.
Yeah.
He's just tough. He's scrappy and he's got ugly technique, but he's tough.
Okay.
And I always drop him with a body shot every time I grapple with him. But he's always trying to hurt me. He's trying
going hard.
So I just clip him. I dropped him yesterday with it. And then Pete the Greek.
Oh, he's boxing now?
I guess he came in. He's never done I think he's done 1 striking class ever with me.
What about Simo?
Simo, he's come in a few times, but he doesn't do many striking classes. But he's done a few sparring sessions, and he's a special. He's like I really believe Simon's like a really special athlete.
Yeah.
He told me yesterday we were talking about. We're trying to get him to do ADCC, and he's like, "Man, I have a really important soccer match that day." He's like the star of his soccer team.
Yeah,
really.
He's like, would they get 30 goals less than without me every game? I was like, what? He like stores. He's just like a phenom at this like small level.
Rec league.
Rec league. He's like a world,
That's
world
awesome.
star. So you could just tell he's like a special. Whatever he does, I bet he'd be good.
Kills it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in shape too. He puts a pace on you.
That's what he said. He's like, but I don't like soccer anymore because he's like, every time I'm just so tired after. I was like, yeah, dude.
You're running the whole time.
You don't need to run.
Freak.
Come grapple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're slowly changing. And that's funny because Pete was saying the same thing. Pete's like, 2 years ago before he started training, he would say the same thing. He's like, I won't go to training. I'm going to go to soccer. And now it's just completely switched. He stopped playing soccer.
Good.
He just fucking loves jiu-jitsu so much. And
I don't know. Pete played soccer.
That's how they met. Him and Simon are friends.
All Greeks play soccer.
Yeah, I was impressed.
All Greeks play soccer.
Yeah, I'm impressed by you, Pete. I didn't know.
Is that impressive, soccer?
Yeah. I don't know. Once you
have to be in shape, right?
Yeah. I mean, we got to be able to run and kick. Just think about how easy it is to trip if you're running and kicking the ball at the same time. And Yeah.
You saying he's not an athlete? Pete's a freak athlete.
Yeah. Pete's an impressive athlete, man.
Yeah, he just likes to drink. What do you want him to do?
His kids could be really good.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be
Billy and Harry both are
super
awesome.
tough. Yeah.
Well, but so I'm glad we got a little bit of your background. Let's talk about Vegas.
Yeah, the Vegas trip.
So let's just start with your competition.
Some stuff's got to stay in Vegas.
No, it's all
Nothing
coming
stays
home.
in Vegas.
We've got some stories.
Oh yeah,
it was a really great trip in general, and I'm so happy that everyone who came with. We had so many people compete. I think we had 11 people compete.
Yep. 10 people compete.
10 people compete, 11 divisions, and it was, super fun. It was a tough tournament. We came home. We had 3 medals come home.
Yep.
We'll throw one out there that, just being honest, we'll tell you. You said you wanted to talk shit about Jay. Here's your chance. Jay, we love Jay. He came out there and he had a good, hard, tough first match.
Yep.
But he lost. And then his other opponent, so group of 4, so he's then going for 3rd place.
Yep.
But his 3rd place match, the guy just got hurt or something. Didn't show
out, yeah.
So Jay's coming home with a silver or a bronze medal.
Yeah, baby.
Didn't even win a match.
Didn't win a match, but got a medal. You can't
can't blame him.
Can't blame him. It's not his fault.
He was out there.
Yeah.
Came out, competed hard.
His first match was a dogfight.
It was scrap.
Yeah,
It was good.
And I think that guy ended up taking first. And Jay and they were neck and neck.
Yeah, Jay almost won right at the end. It was really
overtime.
Close. Yep.
Yeah, tough match. I'm proud of Jay, and especially that's him just starting blue belt.
Yep.
First time in the intermediate.
Yep. So that would have been close for he could have won that first match and then been the first second place match.
Yeah.
Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
Let's do the medals.
Close,
so
yep.
we had Melvin took home a bronze.
Yep.
So those are our 2 bronze medals, and Melvin, who is awesome, super talented white belt in beginner division.
Yep.
I think he could have definitely have taken gold. He could have.
Yep.
He just has some technical problems that he doesn't know. He's tough.
Yep.
But he just gets himself in bad positions,
He's wild and then
still
not
will
great
win.
escapes.
Yeah,
so that
too
combo can really get
Is
him.
he totally new to grappling as a whole?
Yeah, I think
in
so.
terms of just
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu,
He didn't wrestle. He
I mean, the first one of the first tournaments he did, everyone was asking him if he did judo and stuff before, and he's like, "No, I play soccer." He just got really trip people and
swept someone?
Yeah, he foot sweeps everyone. He's got really
But
good foot sweeps.
he needs some organization with his knowledge.
100%.
And I just talked to him the other day, and he's so excited because he's gonna be training with us,
Yep.
more.
Yeah.
And that's all he's lacking is just a real understanding of the game.
Yep.
Like if he has gone through a lot of what we've been doing the last couple months,
Yep.
even. He would have done so much better.
Totally
He's
agree.
got some positional issues.
Yep.
But he's creative and he's exciting. He's fun.
passionate.
And he wants to learn.
Oh, he gets such a
That's the
passion
biggest
for it. He
part of
loves
it.
it. Yeah,
So,
he just sends me
really proud
videos
of him.
all day. I love it. Yeah.
Super proud of him. That was cool to see. And he's got some. I just don't want him to get hurt. He's just so rough. His
Yeah, he hurts
matches are-
himself a lot. Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
You know how it goes, Sean.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little rough and things happen. Sean, how's your elbow feeling?
100%. Nothing ever happened.
We'll
And
talk
then
about that.
close matches.
Well, I still got a medal, dude.
Oh, like, I mean,
God,
come
you
on.
just keep skipping over it.
Just skip joke.
Hey, I know. I brought home a medal. No one else will say it. I'll say
What?
it.
Joey got a gold medal.
I got a gold medal. with
Super
three
impressive
matches,
performance.
Yeah, for the advanced division, and it was really, really fun for me because again, it's like 2 years in the making. After watching me and Cal sitting here right where we are right now on the TV watching the World Championships,
Yep.
being like, man, we should have been there for the Open or something.
So we went.
That's 2 years of like wanting to do that and just knowing like I got to go home with something.
Yep.
So it was really satisfying feeling to get that gold medal.
Got a rematch win in the
rematch
finals.
with someone who beat me in Arizona, a really tough kid, and it was just it was exciting.
Well,
scrap.
and it was a dominant win, and when he beat you, it was very
He barely
he
beat-
inched by you, and
Yeah.
you really smashed him.
Which felt
so
good.
and everyone's everyone will make their excuses on both days. He'll say he was sick the day he beat you and the day he lost.
Yeah, I don't make
but
excuses.
screw him. Yeah, that was
Excuses
amazing.
are stupid.
Yep.
They're a waste of time.
Yep. So super
Either
impressive
win or you
performance.
lose.
That was probably one of the most exciting matches in the Open.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, a lot of people told me that. Like
Yeah.
people I didn't know just came up and was like, "That was my favorite match."
Good.
Yeah.
Because it was ugly and mean and
Got
we were,
chippy, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it.
we were like the
exciting.
miniature version of when. Rotolo and
Mateus.
Mateus
Yeah.
Denise.
Started throwing-
we were like
throwing punches.
mini version of that. Because this kid who and he's awesome. He's actually not a bad kid. He's just that's his style, which is to be like kind of in people's head, like to kind of be an asshole for grappling. And
Yep.
like you're not gonna do that to me. I'm too
Yep.
old. I'm too old, and I'm too like weathered.
Yeah.
You can't like just like rough me up, and I'll be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Especially from an MMA background.
But for some people,
For a lot of
that'll
kids,
work.
I think it works really
Yeah.
well. So like he just tries to get in people's heads. He like collar ties hard. He pushes and shoves, and like I'm like okay, and I'll just like headbutt you.
I can do that too.
Yeah, so I just said I remember because I faced him before. Like I remember thinking if I face him again, whatever he does, I'm just gonna do a little bit more and a little bit meaner. And if I do that consistently, either the match is gonna get. Where the referees are gonna be like, you guys can't keep doing this because is he gonna match me? Because if he goes more, I'm gonna go more. It's just gonna get into like eventually he might die. I mean, like
We'll fight. Yeah.
How far are we gonna push this?
Yep.
Like the referees will have to stop the match because I'm not gonna let him do something to me and me go
Yep.
Like I'm just gonna always escalate enough. But I'm never going to go to the farthest
that is
right
blatant,
away.
yeah.
But whatever you do, I'm going to do a little bit more and a little bit meaner than you.
Yeah.
I think that won.
Yeah.
Well,
And
and then,
I think he did break eventually.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he broke at the end.
Well, quite honestly, think about like crossing the line just a little bit too much. You fault yourself into a situation where, like, I mean, let's be honest. If Cade would have landed like that third collar tie he threw, it would have been very reasonable to disqualify him.
Yeah.
And he won the whole freaking thing.
It was open-handed.
It was 100%, but it would have been like any other jiu-jitsu tournament. Someone does that,
I'm
you go,
all about-
whoa, you're out of here. I'm totally down.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, you definitely could have. And so, like an open, he
But
would have
that's
probably
why
got DQ'd.
I think definitely. Oh, I mean, the only open where he would have got DQ'd is any type of IBJJF or some type of, jiu-jitsu tournament.
But heck, IBJJF might have DQ'd Mateus for kicking his foot.
They were swinging at each other.
They were swinging.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Mateus started it. I saw it. Mateus started that one little kick and boom, slap. And I would have felt the same way. It's like, dude, you literally kicked me in the leg.
Yep.
So are we striking?
Yep.
That was another funny one, right? Was Luke Rockhold, right? Luke Rockhold and
Pat Downey.
Pat Downey, where Luke is just getting outclassed and then pretends like he's striking. And Pat Downey, I was happy that he was like, "Fuck you, I'll do that too." Then. And started he's throwing knees. And stuff. I just thought that was funny.
It's like you're not gonna punk me.
Okay, so you're losing in the grappling exchange, so you're gonna act tough. You're not gonna punch me because if you did, we'd be fighting. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Vegas, we came home with 3 medals. Very happy. I think we all could have done better. Let's hear a sound. Thanks, Shawn. Appreciate it.
Kyle loves doing that.
We gotta get that out there.
We forget that.
We haven't done it in a while. Yeah.
We definitely could have came home with more. If I was to be critical, we had a lot of matchups, a lot of mistakes, and that's good for us.
Jeremiah had a really close 4th place.
Jeremiah close.
Carlos had a 4th. Carlos had a close getting to 1st, 2nd, and a close 3rd, 4th too.
I didn't see any of his matches.
Yeah.
They're all good matches.
Oh man,
tough
the
matches.
boy can wrestle, man.
He's a tough kid.
And now he's really throwing in some.
But it's the same problem with Melvin.
Yeah.
They just don't have the system in place for themselves. So you can see when they don't know what's going on.
But then also too the difference is a little bit of just having that ability to. Melvin's got good wrestling, but it's more like judo throws and trips and stuff.
It's more slick.
Yes, and he doesn't have that. What do you call the floor? You call the floor wrestling something different a lot.
Short offense.
Short offense. Cool. He doesn't have really good short offense. So Carlos had a good
short offense
freedom to try to go for submissions, and if they didn't go well, his short offense, he could just get back up and wrestle again.
I mean, he just scrimmaging for points. So even from the negative, he was good at getting back up.
Yes,
which was cool.
Yeah.
So I think ADCC for him is going to be really
so perfect. Yeah, and he was nervous about the rules and stuff.
He did really good.
He did awesome.
Jeremiah, him, Miggy. Yourself,
Sergio had a good first match.
Oh man, he should have won.
He should have won.
He needs to get in shape.
Yeah.
He knows it too, so we're not afraid to say it.
No more Kraft cheese.
Stop eating fucking cheese every day. He's just a cheese eater, man. The guy loves he'll take a slice of cheese, just slowly eat a whole slice of cheese. American singles, he fucking loves it.
Kraft's macaroni.
He eats like a fucking 7-year-old.
Yeah, he loves.
I wouldn't say
Taco
5-year-old,
Bell
but like a 7-year-old.
I guess I can't talk much better, but yeah.
Yeah, you're the same.
Yeah, I'm not terrible.
I mean, I had Denny's. I think every morning we were there. So.
You and
Ian loved Denny's, man.
Oh yeah, and then Ian was probably in my opinion, the most impressive grappler of the trip for me. Watching him and seeing him evolve from the first time I saw him grapple to California recently, and then to now, just the most improved in terms of tactics. Because technically, we're all good, and no one is technically that bad. There were some technical errors in Shawn's match that we could highlight and fix.
Yep.
But a lot of jiu-jitsu is not about the techniques. It's about the tactics and the being able to implement what you need.
Yeah.
It's really just performing in that day.
Yeah.
And Ian, for the first time, and I've been telling him this for a little while, was like, stop just trying to win right away. Stop trying to be cool. You're always trying to do something cool.
Don't let that guy
and then you
beat you.
get fucking gassed, and then you get choked out. That's not cool.
Yep.
It's way cooler to go just be a better grappler than someone.
He was on.
That was the best he's ever looked.
When
and he
you
beat
watch
some good guys.
Yeah, especially people and you know how they grapple, and you've grappled with them, and you could tell just he's on today.
Yeah,
he was just
That's how
free.
he
He was free to be himself, but not being crazy. And I think
he gassed either.
He had to hold himself back for the first time.
Yep.
Which he did well.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, that's the Ian I feel in the gym. When I roll with Ian here, he is so tactful with me, like passing my guard.
That's just because you're big, man.
When
he's with me, he tries to kill me.
Oh, he tries to kill you?
He's jumping, he's trying to be cool. I'm like, Ian, fucking chill.
Yeah, he rolls very tactful with me, and it's
that's because you're good.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're fucking good too, man.
I'm not.
Could just be the different styles.
Yeah,
different body types.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, if we were, maybe he doesn't respect your guard. You know,
He doesn't respect my guard.
he doesn't respect your guard.
Respect me at all.
He doesn't respect you at all.
I don't believe he respects me at all. I'm putting that out there. You know, I hope you listen. He's
Hey,
like,
man.
you think I don't respect
Hey
you?
man, that's when his voice actually changed again. He'd like take you to the side and be like,
What?
"Hey man, I respect you."
I was like, okay, quit spitting on me. If you respect me, stop spitting my fucking drink.
Man. Yeah, Ian did great.
Ian's great.
Let's make sure we don't miss anybody. So the one, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
We had the 3 rooms. So the one room was you and me. We talked about that. The one room was
Well, no, we didn't talk about you. We got to talk about you.
The one room was
Can't
Colton,
skip over you.
Colton,
He
Carlos,
doesn't want to talk about
He
it.
doesn't talk about his
Colton,
match.
Carlos, Shawn, and Melvin. So we got those except for Colton.
Colton, yeah. Let's finish that room
Yep.
then, right? So Colton had the best guy first, which we'll also say that this is a single elimination, which
Yeah.
is rare for ADCC.
opens.
Usually they're always double elimination, so you can fight your way back to third.
Mm-hmm.
But Colton faced the guy who won the absolute division, so big guy, heavyweight guy. And it was a fun. I thought it was a fun match.
Yeah.
For some reason, viral video. Of him
He knows how to
losing,
put it
but-
together, baby. Yeah.
He gets this video that's like got 7 million views or 8 million views or whatever, and it's him right away doing a cartwheel Kimura trap on this guy that failed, but it
Yep,
was like,
it was
oh
cool.
big guy doing a flip, so people love that shit. But
Yep.
then he goes to leg lock, and you see Colton in Arizona, he won first place in the advanced division at the heavyweight with just kind of like brutish leg locks.
Yep.
Like he fucking just grabbed people's legs and people got scared and
Yep.
tapped. You know what I mean? You feel that from him. You've seen him. We've seen
Powerful.
videos of him snapping baseball bats and shit. He's just a strong, big heavyweight guy. And he did this to this guy. And the first one was definitely that case where I'm watching him go with not that much control of the foot and just rip. And the guy just didn't even budge, didn't even flinch, didn't even move. And then you see him being like, all right, well, now I'm going to put some
A
control
real
on this.
technical one.
So he puts, gets everything connected, and he goes, and I see Colton's eyes squint. I see, that's like a max power squeeze. He just goes, and the guy doesn't flinch. And I'm like, Colton, no more. Get on top. Do something different. It's like, this is not the guy.
Run away from that man.
And this is a common story that me and Shawn, and we've been talking about it a lot. And no matter what, if you're playing legs, there's always mutual exposure. So no matter what, you're putting yourself in that game. You got to be ready for you try to hit someone with a bat, and they have a bat. They're gonna hit you with a bat back, and that's what happened. The guy, as soon as he grabs Colton's leg, I see him like go for that full squeeze.
Anger came out.
Colton's intelligently. I'm so glad he's a smart enough guy. Right away, tap.
Well, he was. Isn't he dealing with a?
Well, when we were in Arizona, he broke his fibula.
Yeah, he broke his fibula.
Yeah.
And won.
Yep.
Right, he won because he got the same break on the other guy.
Yep.
That big guy who grabbed him in Arizona just barely grabbed him, but so strong, like so high up.
Doesn't take.
Wasn't
much
even a
for
foot
those
lock.
Well,
It
that
was
guy,
just
that guy,
gripping it.
that guy did the move. No, that guy was doing the move that Barboza did to Chen.
Yeah,
He was
I
doing
remember
that, and that's a.
I don't know if that's what broke his leg or what.
yeah.
We don't know when that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was right.
I think that's
It
what he
was
said.
like a weird
That's what he
exchange of
felt
it.
was that, and then he
Interesting.
took the 1 foot over and did the corkscrew and
Yeah.
broke his foot. Yeah.
So
so
I mean,
that was.
it's just I'm not a
was
fan
fun.
of these
Yeah,
moments.
yep.
I don't know. It's not my preferred game of like
Well, so then
playing some roulette a little bit.
We'll close out those 2 rooms. So me and Shawn kind of had the exact same thing.
Is
you
there
know?
anyone else that we're missing?
So let's do those 2, and then I'll think about the last room. So let's go. That'll be our 2 rooms. So me and Shawn. So me and Shawn both had I wouldn't say quick, but just got into leg
first match. So
first
you only have
match.
one match of the day.
Yep, got into leg lock exchange with people, and like we said, mutual exposure.
Sometimes
and
you lose.
Sometimes you get caught. I think for
Can't
me,
win 'em all.
like me and Joy were talking about it, and just bad decision making. I saw the guy was kind of a leg locker guy, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go play that game with him, and probably should have just not done that. Take someone's back, pass their guard would have been a smarter game plan.
And with Kyle, we've talked about it so much, and I really want Kyle to, this is just me speaking out loud and you hearing it, but I really want Kyle to embrace how good he is in jiu-jitsu in general and not be, and I'm not saying I don't know if you think this in your head and saying like, this is my only shot, but that's how it's seen from the outside.
Yeah.
And I bet other people know you. They're watching you, they've seen you, or they just look you up.
Yep.
And what do they see? They see you leg locking people. That's it. So whether you think it or not doesn't really matter. It's what is being portrayed is that this is your one shot. And you almost grapple that way.
Yeah.
Like you're right away just desperately looking for this quick finish.
Yeah.
it's like almost a similar conversation to Ian.
Yeah.
He doesn't use that method, but he tries to win quick.
Just take them out.
He tries to like right away get on their back, jump on their back, and try to finish, and then gasses out.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're gassing out. Of course you do.
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. 1000%. Yeah.
That's not even the point. The point is more of like you're just a better grappler than you act.
Yeah.
And people don't get to see it. And like you have some of the best back control I've ever seen. Great finishes from the back. A good guard that's not just attacking legs. Like a good guard that could be hard to pass, close, open, half. You're a well-rounded.
You know what I really felt that was when I grappled against David and at Midwest
David
Finishers, David Garcia.
Yeah.
Like I remember like having
You
like
beat
just,
him in jiu-jitsu.
I had a very normal, what would be a normal match for me, and then like either I swept him or he conceded the bottom, and I remember just telling myself like I'm good at passing guard. I just passed his guard and took his back.
Yeah. So if we can embrace that and like say, maybe it needs to be some affirmations to yourself that like I'm just good at everything. Dude, I don't. You can make fun of it all you want. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I have things I say. I won't share them. But I do things like that, and it really is made. I do, it's like fucking. It pumps me up.
All I want to do is the thing from Cool Runnings.
What's that one?
I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who won't take no crap from nobody. Say it again.
I love it.
You remember that one? Yeah, that's a great one.
John Candy, man.
Dude, and you had the worst part about your match was you had a huge opportunity to take the kids back.
Yeah, I should have taken his back. I should have leg locked him too at one point. I almost
Which
hit
is
his
what
foot.
we have talked about so much. So that's the disappointment, but that's not a. It's a
learning experience.
That it is a 100% a performance problem too. Again, just not performing on that moment.
Yep.
Electing wrong decisions. Right.
Yep.
I mean, anytime you lose, it's a wrong decision.
Yeah.
Right? Anytime you win, even if it looks like shit, just made some good choices.
Did it good.
That's how I view it. Right.
And he was a strong kid too.
Oh, he was a gorilla.
But let's just accept that everyone's strong and everyone's good. If you're going to compete, let's always assume, even if they aren't, they are because they're competing.
You know what's
and
a funny
that's
thing
better
too?
way to look at
If you just don't tell yourself that, the difference in strength is never that much. So like
What do you mean?
I would say like when I grapple with you, you're strong. But like if I tell myself
And Ian's
like,
a bitch,
if
is
I
that
tell
what you're
myself like shit, Ian, Shawn's so strong, like I can't deal with this. Then every like exchange we have when you grab me, I'm not even gonna try as much as I can to like pull my wrist away. But if I just think to myself like, yeah, he's strong, I'm strong too. Like if you're stronger than me, it would probably only be by like 5 or 10%.
Yeah.
So that really doesn't matter that much.
So you're saying thinking that guy's stronger than you is putting that like mental block.
Yeah, so
in
like
your
every time you try to do something, I'm not saying that for me, but I'm saying for some people, like that's like a thing is when people overthink that person being stronger than them, it's like it does that's not the jiu-jitsu is the factor.
Dude, but the thing is like, I mean, we cut weight together.
Yep.
That like it's crazy how big some of these guys look because that was a big dude.
A big dude, yeah. I mean, that's so.
matter.
But so that's also too of just like okay. So then like I should train with some bigger dudes and like that's just
everyone.
What am I gonna change? Am I gonna tell him no? He can't do it. It's like
Yeah, you can't. There's no excuses. You could have done better.
Yep.
It's not. Oh, this guy's so strong.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Don't matter.
Everyone's strong.
Yep.
Everyone's good too.
Yeah.
So, that's also a fun storyline in general of like, when you're a purple belt, comparing now to then, it's like it's almost a whole different generation of grapplers right now.
Oh, so
everyone understands what you like to do.
Yep.
But there was a moment in time where you had like a secret cheat code.
Yep.
You remember that? Like feeling?
1,000,000%. Yep.
Like you literally go out there, swoop, just foot locks over, like, oh, that was pretty easy.
I remember
it's
it happening.
never going to be that way anymore, and we shouldn't expect it to be.
Yeah, I remember, playing like X guard and single leg X stuff from like a Marcelo, and then the first time just watching the first EBI and being like, everyone is getting healed. Everyone is healed. I'm just doing that. Like
since you've been competing, when did you feel that?
The evolution?
Like with the other competitors of when it, everyone was kind of coming on and catching up.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
like after the first trials we did. So the first trials we did, it was there, but it was like still,
which was only what
for 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, it was. Maybe people knew, but like I still had the firepower to catch some people who didn't, weren't extremely efficient. And then, ever since then, it's been, it's
and just matchups too.
You never know who you went against. Yeah,
but I just feel like the overall. So there's still going to be some people who are just highly susceptible to leg locks and leg finishes, but the overall, the net pool of grapplers everyone's understanding has raised by like fucking 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, every person, even the worst grappler in the world, even white belts now, especially with this rule set being popular, they understand leg entanglements much more than they did 5 years ago, even.
100%.
So, I think it's a good thing. Personally, I think it's good. That's why I like the rule set like that. I like white belts being able to do that because now it's like you don't have to wait 10 years.
You don't hinder them.
You don't
in their
wait till
training.
you're a black belt and then be like, now you got to learn leg locks.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, that just speaks for the sport and how much it's grown.
Growing.
It's
yeah.
crazy.
And then it won't be this weird, like, man, I could have beat you, but you just did a leg lock.
Yeah.
No, there's no excuses now. Everyone knows
You
it.
know what I did. Yeah.
And if you don't want to learn that because you're, for whatever reason, you have an exception to that, you're like, or you don't feel like it's valuable, then you can prove them wrong.
Yeah.
So there's still going to be, it's going to happen again. I promise you will leg lock someone again, Kyle. But I promise you, don't, I know you will, it will happen, but it will happen. I bet you your leg lock finishes are going to go up if we truly embrace what we're talking about right now. If you truly just say, I'm a better grappler in every facet, I'm just going to beat people.
Yep.
Then somehow, amazingly, you're going to start leg locking
kind of
people
fall
again.
in the lap. Yeah.
You know, but you are just you are being one dimensional.
Hyper focused on it.
Yeah.
And I don't care at a good level. Whenever someone is imagine a football team that could only run the ball.
No.
And like never even had. So then what's the point of a play? Fake?
Yeah. Yep.
So you can't even pretend to try to go on top.
Yep. Yep. Well,
that's
and then too, like honestly, think about that team that like has literally done that for like a full season. Then the next year they run one play where they pass it and we're like, whoa, what the, So it'll be that,
It'll be good. Yeah. So hopefully we can embrace it.
Yep. Sean,
man.
what do you want to say about your match, my friend?
So
Not
Sean,
much.
similar. It was actually a fun match, though. It was a little bit longer. How long was it?
Which match are we talking about?
Your one match. Oh.
There was one
We'll
that
talk
lasted
about the
about 4 minutes, and there's one that lasted about 45 minutes.
It was more than 45
Yeah, it
minutes.
was definitely an hour.
Yeah, you don't remember. We'll talk about the unsanctioned match after. Let's talk about so at ADCC you sign up and you're doing the intermediate division as a blue belt. The guy you faced, how did he do? Did you see any of his?
I think he leg locked the next two guys.
So he was
it
a leg
like,
locker.
Yeah.
He caught Shawn with what was it?
Toehold.
Toehold. Yeah. That's right.
So Sean even said to me right before the match, he said, if I'm passing this guard and I see his leg, do I just jump on it? And I was like, you told me he does leg locks, so I probably wouldn't do that.
What's your fascination with leg locks?
I don't know, man. I think it's just.
Have you always just wanted to be like Kyle?
No, I mean, I think honestly, it's just trying to figure out. I feel like I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out my strengths and kind of like what my game is. Mm-hmm. And it's like, to do that, you kind of just got to dive in and
Try
see what works
things.
for you and what doesn't. And I learned the hard way, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was funny because remember watching it and you got stuck in an exchange and we're seeing you like get caught. And I think it was a heel hook to start, right?
I want to say both times he reached back and told him. Yeah, and he had to scramble out.
But you were in a deep lock, and I see you turning the wrong way for a moment, and then you listen and you turn and you spin out, and you're like out, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. He's
right back.
I was in my head thinking, oh, great, he's learned his lesson. Now we're just gonna do some good jiu-jitsu. He's gonna pass guard, start getting to better positions, stop fucking around, and then he goes, and then Sean drops right back in, and now he's on bottom, and I'm watching him play half guard with his outside leg just completely out in the breeze.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, oh man, like I hope this guy doesn't take it.
Yep.
And he took it.
He took it hard.
Any damage? Was it?
No. I mean, I was fine. I think I tried rolling out of it too for that one.
Yeah.
But that was deep.
It was deep.
Yeah.
Your knee was bent deep.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be a toe hold's one that like almost most of the time you could kind of find some roll in and keep it going, but man, sometimes it'll hurt so bad they break your foot.
They break your knee too.
Yeah.
With the knee bent, it's no different than an outside heel.
It starts getting bad.
You start getting that pain right in the outside of the knee, so you don't want your LCL to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then I remember, I mean, we kind of talked about it too, looking back at the match itself. Yep. I thought I had like an opportunity too, where I felt like I was in a good position, and when I went to go throw my hips over to a knee bar, but I I don't remember.
You just
probably
don't.
remember
Yeah,
more
you
than
just
I do.
you just. I mean, honestly, you just didn't know the exchange that you wanted
Right.
to do too much. You had the idea, but you just didn't know the technique that well.
It felt good for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And in jiu-jitsu land, 3 seconds is a long time. It's like enough for you to be like,
yeah.
I'm gonna win.
I got
It's
it.
like when you're in a car crash. You know?
It was a slow car
Take a sip
crash.
out of your drink. You know, just, I'm crashing.
No, it was fun. I'm glad you did it. I wish you could have got that second match. I wish you could have got the round robin for
Yeah.
or the
Yeah, I mean,
the
too,
double
for
elimination.
sure.
I mean, but yeah. Any takeaways from it outside of technique too? I mean, what I was happy was that I'm just always concerned. You were one of my biggest concerns about the trip because I didn't want you to have a bad experience and then be like, man, fucking, I hate jiu-jitsu.
Nah, man.
But it seemed like it did the opposite. At least right away, you were asking a lot of questions, and then you were like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it lights a fire under you a little bit, right?
Good.
If you have any bit of competitor in you, or come from that kind of a background, right?
Yeah.
Anytime you're losing, you want to learn.
Yes.
yeah, I hope that's what it is. I think some people are just, I guess, not competitive. I guess that might be some people run into something like that, and their initial response is, "I'm never doing that again. I'm embarrassed, or I'm hurt, or I'm whatever it is, physically, mentally."
Yeah, I would never. I remember. I think after Arizona, I was texting you about that. Of just like
Yeah, because I was worried about you. Because after Arizona was a big one for me, for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I was distraught.
Yeah.
Because it was like, man, we had a lot of talks, and we're like, guys, like, I'm fucking feeling great.
Yeah.
He's like
Fucking
that.
just did, yeah.
At Arizona, it was their first match again. Got really sick.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember saying to you, like, I'll never get discouraged by it. I mean, this is what I do,
Just to expand on it,
Dog.
I was so
The dog.
He's got a lot of dog in him.
Yeah,
And a dog. You've never. It's so tough to discourage a dog from like playing.
Yeah, I'm down, man. Yeah.
You got to be beaten down. But like Kyle, I was just so worried about him being like, man, I don't want to compete anymore or something. So I was like inching around it, trying to like, hey man, how you feeling? Everything all right? He's like, I'm good.
Yep.
I was like, no, I'm ready for the next one.
Yep, we'll keep going.
But like, and that was a real concern is I don't want you to get burnt out. Because that's a lot of stress on your body too. The way that you take a loss.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just mentally, but physically. Your body just fucking goes through withdrawal.
I need winning.
You look pretty good in Vegas, though.
And Vegas,
I mean, yeah.
this was the first time he's ever
Physically
lost
speaking.
and didn't puke.
Yeah, I didn't die.
Yeah, I mean,
In a while, at least, yeah.
One positive.
Yep.
Yeah, no puking at all. Did you feel like you were gonna at all?
No, I don't
Not
think
even
so.
a little bit.
Yeah, I don't remember. No.
And then we had that as a joke. We said like if
If I puked at that one, it would have been a bad news.
If Kyle would have got submitted in 2 minutes or whatever in the short route and still puked, I think I would have said to Kyle like,
We need to discuss.
I think you're going to be a coach from now on. No more competing. It's just not for everyone. If your body can't handle too
something
many.
happened. Something happened at about 30. Yeah.
Like, what do you think it is, though? Is it the stress of competing, cutting weight, competing itself?
I couldn't tell you, my friend. I could not tell you. If I knew, I'd stop puking. Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. But so I mean that's you. That's my room. That's your room. And then the other room, I think we discussed everyone. We had Sergio, we had Jeremiah, we had Jay, and then we had who else was in that room? Sergio, Jeremiah, Jay, and Ian. Yeah. And so we talked about Ian. I think the only one we didn't discuss too much was Jeremiah. Yeah, Jeremiah looked really good.
Tore his hammy.
I mean, so Jeremiah goes so hard.
It's made of glass.
He always injures himself. I would say more. Jeremiah's made out of some pretty hard substance. I would say maybe he's made out of like wood, but he just treats his body like he's made out of steel, and it just always doesn't keep up. And you know what? Even more, maybe he's a tough alloy, but he just doesn't. He doesn't train enough to have the his body's not loose.
Yeah. But his wrestling background is so strong that he could always fall back.
And that's the thing. Jeremiah is one of the freak of the freaks. I mean, he could be a world champion if he put his mind to it. So I don't know if he won one or two matches. He actually got some submissions, I think, which was huge for him. And then I remember watching, maybe it was his third, fourth place match or the first, second place match, whichever match it was. It was probably the match to go to third, fourth. He was on the guy's back, and he was. I mean, I was like, oh, the match is over. He's choking, and then I look over and he's tapping to a knee bar. And I was, oh, god damn it! So,
and I think that was his bad leg too.
So he tapped pretty early. So, that'll happen. But I mean, honestly, for him too, hopefully that lights a little fire under him. For him to start training a little bit more consistently.
I've seen everybody back in the gym that we've gone to Vegas with, except Jeremiah.
Yep. I mean, everyone's sticking to their protocol, though.
I got to text him afterwards.
We got to hit him up more. Jeremiah is definitely needs to be externally motivated.
Yes.
So he needs that like push from people. But he's the most physically gifted, one of the most physically gifted grapplers I've ever met, and he just doesn't. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I get it because I think when I was younger, I was good at stuff. Like I was good at wrestling, so I had that almost like. We talk about it with like Justin Pete.
Yep.
It's like when you're really like just a good athlete and things come usually easier to you. When things are really tough or like when it's the mundane part of training, you usually it's like I don't need it, and like I've had to learn that and like realize that you're not that good, and like you got to tell yourself like I don't know what the right I feel like everyone's different, but for me I needed to kind of like shame myself into it and be like hey, you're not that good, like like stop acting like you're the fucking best. I think you need to keep training. You need to like, and I don't know if that's for him. I don't know what that is, but I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, I mean he gets hurt a lot too.
So much.
I mean I know that,
but I think for him when I see
getting hurt even off the mat, he's gonna play football like street football. And he gets hurt. Yeah, that's how he pulled his hamstring.
He reminds me of something that like Chael Sonnen said once of just like I don't know why it is, but I'm just finding a way to lose.
Yeah,
you think he finds a way to lose,
and not purposefully, but just like. Dude, you didn't like that one match I was coaching with. The one thing, he just like gets his hamstring cramps, and he like I think he.
Here's my thoughts, and I hope he hears this. Is like, if I was him, I wouldn't expect to win because I didn't earn it off the mat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I just don't feel like you would. I feel I earn every time I win. I feel like I earned it because I've been on the mat training every day. You know what I mean? And I know, and not everyone's gonna be able to train like me and Kyle. It's just the reality of it. But like, if you like set a date, and you're saying I'm gonna compete. Like for you, like you set a date, and I know you got in shape for it. You were running, you were eating better, and you came to like competition classes that you normally don't if you weren't gonna compete. So the result that you got, you should felt like you earned it.
Right.
If you would have won, you should have been like, I deserved that. When you lost, you feel like I deserved that.
So Jeremiah did no training for this?
Not much. Really? I'm gonna be honest. I'm just
maybe like 3 weeks of coming to the advanced classes, 2 or 3 times a week.
And then hurt his hamstring, and he had to pull
and
back.
And his hand too, right? He had something with his hand.
I don't remember the hand.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's just injury prone. I think he's got that a little bit. But I believe in Jeremiah, and I hope
he's amazing.
I hope we can figure that out for him. And like,
I mean, honestly,
it's a waste of time too. If he's so young, he's still young. So like, I really want him to embrace.
Selfishly, I would.
27.
He's like 26.
He'd be a great training. I mean, I would love to have him every here. He's a great training partner. So selfishly,
and I'm here to help him. So I'm throwing that out for you. Jeremiah.
Come on, get on out here, baby. And then the last one we got to discuss. Miggy
was a very late notice.
Had to get his own hotel. Had to get his own tickets.
He didn't plan it. He's like, fuck it, I'll go do it. And Miguel's a gamer.
That's a dog right there.
He's a dog, and he did really well as usual. He has his game. Like you were talking about, like figuring out. Like Miguel knows what he's good at, and it's guard retention, half guard. He's just really good at it, but he still doesn't have the firepower to win a match.
Yes,
he's just not going to lose a match very easily. Until he gets tired. And then he's like, lets people kind of beat him. If you're talking about like a way, finding a way to lose, Miguel is that guy. He'll wait till the last second, just like, you passed my guard.
Well, and two, don't you think when I watch Miguel, his guard is so hard to pass, and he doesn't frame very well.
He'll
hold people and like
he plays an outside game.
Which is super impressive. Yeah, I mean,
but that is so reliant on really good flexible hips.
Okay,
and he's got really good flexible hips, so he can play like butterfly half, and like you do this too.
Yep. But I play inside with my arms.
You didn't before, remember? Like you would always let people get chest to chest and then off balance and then get your hips right. Like you intentionally would let people get a crossface and fucking shove them off. You would thumb post on the outside.
Yeah.
Now you're doing a better job of keeping them away from that chest to chest, and I think you've had more success stopping people from smashing you.
Yep.
And Miguel, it plays the entire. It's a 5-minute round, 4 minutes with someone technically smashing him, but no one can pass his guard.
Yep.
But then maybe that is legitimately the fatigue building up. It takes about 5 minutes to pass his guard.
Grapple that giant Tongan dude in the absolute.
God. That guy was huge.
That guy was huge.
And Miguel had a blast. I talked to him today.
He came in a little bit, right?
He came in. So he taught. He's like, I had to work some overtime after going to Vegas because it's expensive.
Yeah.
He's so. Shout out to Miggy. Good job, man. I'm glad you did it. So that's everyone, right?
That's everybody. Yep.
We did have our documentary series.
Yep.
Crew
Christian
come
and Matt.
out
Shout out to Christian and
film
Matt.
it. So we're looking forward in the next few weeks, but we're going to be posting that and having that the first episode basically.
Docuseries coming out.
Docuseries coming
check
out.
that out for sure.
For anyone who likes the podcast,
That's next week.
it's probably in the next week or
Yep.
so. We have we
got some editing to be done.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do with it, but it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. What I'm most excited about is to hear Ian's interview.
Oh, they said it was great. We didn't get
Were
to see
you
it.
there? Listen?
I was there.
You saw the whole thing?
I didn't see the whole thing, but
Okay.
I kind of knew
It's just funny to
knew
me
what was
that,
gonna
like,
be said.
Okay.
One of the questions that Christian had for me when we were talking about like editing it and like making it was like, what do you think about Ian doing the narration? I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
we went to Vegas and then
Anyone knows Ian's kind of nasally. But, like, if I'm gonna try my best to do it, Ian. That's kind of how it sounds.
It's great
That's like a cartoon version of him.
it's great when your voice is just a noise.
It's like it's kind. It's almost like Nick Diaz, but
He is
like
Diaz, dude.
yeah, but like less Latino
Uh,
and more white trash.
or Southern Illinois.
Ian's a homie, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Ian's
got-
the dog, man.
So on the trip, you and Ian somehow just bonded, right?
Yeah, I felt bad. I was supposed to help him move yesterday. He's
Yeah,
officially a river rat. by
Yeah,
the way.
I know. He's lived right by me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were gonna help him too, but we didn't even tell him. Kyle talked about it. We were like, maybe we can help him, but like it was busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was here till 3, but yeah. So no one helped him.
Nah.
Sorry, Ian. Oh man. Yeah, so he lives by you now.
Yep, he's
That's
in the
cool.
Grove.
That's great.
Yep.
So why'd you and Ian become best buddies?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think just training before Vegas too.
So
We
you guys-
kind of just hit it off. He's easy.
Ian's a funny guy, man. Like,
Hilarious.
he's
He's chill.
legitimately one of the funniest people.
One
when
of
you
a
actually get to
kind,
know him.
yeah.
He's one of a kind human. So you two became essentially, like a duo. Maybe like even like
Someone
a tag
even say
team.
like a tag team. Yeah.
Someone
I
would
mean-
say a tag team.
Some would say the Dudley brothers.
There was a time. I mean, we did just to kind of, close out Vegas as a trip. So of course we competed. That was early. That was Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday was all jiu-jitsu. Watching jiu-jitsu. We
Yep.
went Friday night was CJI, the first night of CJI. And then that continued into Saturday with the finals. But then the beginning round of ADCC. I mean, it's like a jiu-jitsu dream of like so much jiu-jitsu.
I mean, we saw everybody when you really think about it.
You and Ian, I'm pretty sure.
I kind of miss some people.
You and Ian, that's what I was getting to before you start bragging about seeing everyone.
I saw every single thing that weekend.
So,
you saw the bottom of the fucking pool.
the CJI night on Friday, everyone, we watched the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And, I think Ian called it the Trail of Tears, the walk
back.
from our hotel to CJI and back. And you guys did it a few times, trying to find fun things for you guys to do. But it's, then Saturday, the morning, I think we all watched the first rounds of ADCC, right?
Yep.
And then going back, me and Kyle, we kind of messed up our tickets, and we get to the CGI
man.
thinking that we have tickets to go in, and they're like, "No, this is for one day." So, and Kyle like legitimately looked at me. He's like, "Nah, we'll just watch it on our
We'll
phone."
have to
And I'm
fucking
like-
watch it.
And I looked at him and said, "There's no possible way I'm going to sit out here. I can hear what's going on in there.
We gotta
I'll
go
pay
in."
whatever, So we got our tickets, and I'm glad we did. Like
Yeah, it was-
that would to me was the highlight in the entire trip in terms of
100%.
watching jiu-jitsu was that final night.
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's so much fun. Really a fun event. But then the next day is the finals of ADCC.
Yep.
And it's a long day. And I love it. I love jiu-jitsu like a lot.
Yep.
But there's times when I was like just kind of like dozing off.
I'm going to
like,
grab a snack. Yeah.
yeah,
Keep myself
I'm
awake.
just kind of hanging out. Me and Kyle and all of us and Ian at the time, we're all having fun and making jokes and like because there's 3 matches going on. And it's all, there's just like music going on the whole time.
It's chaos.
So like it's no different than us sitting around in an open mat. And imagine if we're at open mat and we're sitting around talking and some guy turns around who's also sitting on the mat and goes to you and says, "Hey, you guys gonna talk
I
the whole
remember
time?"
this guy. Yeah.
Some dude. So this happens to us where we're sitting there, we're having so much fun, laughing, and
all
about,
the fun.
about jujitsu. We're just having fun laughing. And the guy turns around and says, "Are you guys gonna talk the entire time?" And I said, Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are. Sorry. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Be like, sorry, we're not going to talk. No. Everyone's there's music blaring out. Are you watching one of the 3 matches?
Yep.
Fucking watch the match. Everyone else is watching them too.
There's gonna be a 4th match going on pretty quickly.
I mean, I was very polite. I wasn't that mean to, but I was just upfront with them. I was like, sorry. So yes, we are going to continue talking because we're in a stadium with a lot of people.
And there's 15 of us.
I'm
We're
not
going to enjoy ourselves.
Just because you have no friends. I'm just going to be honest. Just because you have no one sit with you.
And there's a lot of empty seats.
Sir,
It was very empty.
go back on Facebook on your phone, right?
Yeah, you don't look tough.
yeah.
But that was the final. So I'm not surprised that you guys ended up leaving. I think you guys left after the finals of the
The only thing we
tournaments.
missed was the absolute.
Absolute. So the absolute comes about.
Yep.
And the
Gordon
Ryan
Yep.
final match.
What is this, snooze fest or what?
It was actually, I enjoyed that
was
one
good.
more than the Felipe
first one?
one, to be
Yeah.
honest.
It was much closer.
That moment where he racked up points
was fun.
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
When he got him, you could see what he was doing. First 10 minutes, it's a 20-minute match.
Smashed him.
He just didn't do much and just laid on him, literally laid on him in a sprawling,
Yep.
headquarters type of position. And you could tell just draining him. And then when the points happened, he just put his foot out, put it back in, and almost like it was kind of funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
Toying with
an
him.
impressive moment.
Yep.
Because you can
Yuri's
say whatever you want.
world
Yuri's
champ.
still.
Yep.
There's a reason why Yuri wins.
Yep.
He's really good.
He just dominated.
Yeah, so it's impressive. No, whatever you think, it's still.
Wait, why are we even telling him? You didn't get to see it. Don't tell him. You got to go look it up online.
So they leave. Hold on, I got to tell you.
The only person I'm upset that I missed was probably Dante Leon with.
Oh, yeah, you missed an
And
epic
I'll say
performance.
that was my favorite. If I had to give, there's 2 of them, right? Him and then of course Adele.
Yeah.
The girl who won her lightweight and then won the absolute for the girls.
That was amazing.
I think she was my most impressive grappler. But then Dante's performance in the absolute is very legendary. To go beat Mika and go beat all these champions.
Giancarlo.
Who else he beat? Giancarlo.
Mika and Giancarlo.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
And
2 champs.
Fuck, it's just super impressive. He's got a game built for the bigger guys. He's strong for his
Just
size.
a tank, right? Yeah, a little
But then
mini
I
tank.
think he maybe struggles with a smaller person.
Yeah, who beat him?
comparatively.
Well, Mika's not big.
Was it
They're
PJ?
Pretty much the
He
same
lost
size.
to.
Might have lost to PJ.
Was it close match? I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah.
But like in his weight division, he lost his weight division, but then goes and takes 3rd as a.
It's almost the exact. It's a 1 weight class up, but it's the Lachlan story.
Yeah,
know,
Lachlan for sure. Yeah, super impressive.
So would you say CGI or ADCC?
Oh, CJ clearly.
In
Hands
terms
down,
of
not
what
even
what
close.
It was a better show.
What's the question? So what I enjoy more?
Just-
Without a doubt, CJI.
Just if you in 2 years from now they do the same exact thing, but you can only go to one event.
CJI.
CJI, yeah.
Yeah?
If I could only go for one,
Yeah.
I would watch. I almost would rather watch ADCC from home on the phone,
Yep.
like we did the first time.
Yep.
It's too overstimulating. Kyle said he likes it. I don't like
Well,
that.
the
I
3
can't
matches,
handle 3
you,
matches.
You miss a lot.
You miss everything.
You
There's
can't
a lot.
see everything.
There was nothing that was enjoyable about having 3 matches going
Yeah.
on. It's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
They can't do it any other way if you're going to have that many matches.
You're just
Yeah.
at a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah.
CJI was an event.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
for sure.
It was like being at a UFC fight.
The pit was cool.
Pit
Yeah.
was awesome.
When are we
Everything
getting a
about
pit?
I'll Rocco, you got to build us a pit. Yeah, if someone's gonna build us Rocco. We
I
can
got
make
some
it happen.
ideas. Yeah, we can do it over there.
Over there?
Yeah.
Far side?
100%.
We'll just put up a little ramp.
You
We
don't
got
need
some
much.
ideas.
As long as there's nails sticking out, I'm happy.
I want carpet on that thing.
Hey, carpet would be perfect.
Yeah, you
Speaking
need
of,
you
Kyle
need
across
it.
it.
So
Speaking
wait,
of.
but hold on. My whole point
How's
was
your elbow doing,
wait,
Kyle?
Well, it was great.
I didn't get to tell you. So the absolute division starts, and both you and who else left? It was just you and Ian.
So-
Jeremiah.
Yeah, okay,
So
yes,
those 2 slackers are like, we're gonna go to the pool. You guys want to go to the pool? I was like, no, the absolute
we paid for this.
I have spent so much time and
I
money.
spent years waiting for this,
I'm
literally.
not gonna move from the seat. I'm gonna watch every match until it's over. All right, guys. So that Ian you guys leave, and I just get phone call after phone call while I'm watching these awesome
FaceTimes.
matches.
Yep.
FaceTime. And the first couple I'll answer, and then he's like, fuck you guys. And I think it started even like before that. What was
the night before.
The night before.
Yeah, you guys had wrestled a little bit.
So we're telling you guys a lot about this. I'm sure it'll be in the documentary a little bit, but the night before I hit Ian with the most beautiful belly to belly suplex that any hotel has ever seen.
I mean, you've never seen a human actually fly.
This was and like Ian's hard to he's a hard guy to
Yes.
wrestle, and even if we're just playing around, I just caught him in a nice angle. He went up, and he still refuses to acknowledge it.
Did anybody get that on video?
No, I tried.
It
Yeah.
was so fucking beautiful.
It came out of nowhere.
I have like moments where I'm like, oh God, I wish I could do that. I want to do it again. It felt so
Ian
good.
that guy lives to just talk shit.
Yeah. He loves it. So I hit it with that, and then like it just became like I expressed my enjoyment with hotel wrestling. I just think it's the coolest fucking
So
thing
you
ever.
two are wrestling, then Sean jumped on you. I wouldn't let Sean jump on you.
But it was very playful.
Yes, we had a good
first.
time.
And it was like a talk of like, like maybe we need a rematch, maybe we need a fight. And I think there was just a lot of smack between you two. I think you guys started it. I don't remember like being like,
you guys wanted the rematch. Yeah.
And then the amount of stuff being said, like jokingly about like
At ADCC. Because
Yes.
you were sitting next to Ian.
Yeah, and Ian was just talking so much. And like, everything he said, I was just like, Jesus. Like I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to war with him, and I'm ready for it. Like we had rash guards ready. So and then but then the phone calls are what really did it. When me and Kyle were like, when we see it, we're not gonna be easy on them. We're gonna roll with them as hard as we can. It's not gonna be a fun like light play. I'm just gonna try to beat this shit out of Ian. All right, and then he's calling me, and then by the end I was like ignoring him, and he'd still be calling me, and the same jokes. He's like, he answered one. He's got like
his nipple.
No, yeah, his nipple.
His nipple just be the screen.
The one he's got this spray for like suntan lotion. He's like, I spray this in your eyes. And then, I'm like, you said that an hour ago. It's the same joke, Ian. All right.
Yeah, but I'm gonna spray you in the eye.
So we after the finals, me and Kyle are like, we're gonna be ready. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna go right to their room and figure it out.
Yep.
And while I put my rash guard on, while me and Kyle are like, all right, ready?
I was jumped.
Sean comes in with Sergio.
Sergio lured me in.
But he didn't mean
he didn't
to.
know. He didn't know what he's doing.
And I think you guys were like, you planned this. We were just standing there. I wasn't ready for anything.
I was getting ready. I opened the door. I hid behind the door. And I
you grabbed
jumped Sean.
So that Sean gets grabbed into our hotel room, which is right next door to their hotel room. And Ian, I think, is in there. And you guys had a few.
Ian was in his room.
Are we allowed to say
he was down the hall?
He was 3 rooms down.
Are we allowed to say you had some beverages?
We had a few beverages.
Okay.
Yeah, they were a little inebriated.
You can make do with that whatever you want. Me and Kyle were drinking water.
We were ready. Yeah,
and Kyle was probably a Mountain Dew. I don't know.
And when I first grabbed Sean, like it was because Sergio's kind of in the way.
Could you smell the booze?
As I was dragging him into the middle of the room, like it was kind of like jokingly funny, and then he realized we were both in rash guards, so he immediately started going,
we're going
Ian.
I was like, Kyle's got me. This is funny. He's tickling me and shit. And then I look at Joey and I'm like, he's got his fucking rash guard. I'm like,
This is serious.
This is getting real. Right
Yeah, so I hear, Ian, help! And Ian comes charging in head first, runs into me to try to tackle me. It was all right, now it's on.
Dude.
So if we started a clock, I wonder if we started a clock from the moment that, that initial.
I mean, minimum 45 minutes. It had to be an hour. Yeah.
If you count that we had to take a shower in between and still then getting another fight.
I had to
there
rinse
was
off
really
a little bit.
no stopping either.
No. Well, I mean, you puked for a few half hours.
Yep. Ian didn't puke.
Oh, I mean, that's what he thinks, but I mean, if you ask him, he'd say he's never puked. So.
Yeah. So
I mean, legendary battle. In my in my assessment, if you try to think what are the greatest fights of all time, you have the Thriller in Manila. You got like these legendary
Helio and Kimura.
Yeah, yes, you have these Hercules and fucking now these are legendary battles. This goes up there.
Yeah,
I mean it's gonna be a tale that you'll tell your kids.
It's like
at some
Forrest
point.
Griffin.
If you guys want to see.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see a remake, of a one-on-one match, watch Hoist fight Sakuraba in Pride.
That was an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah. So it was about the same time for sure, but a lot more excitement, a lot more swear words.
It was a battle, dude. It was a battle. I got my ear bitten at one point.
Oh yeah, I was biting ears.
Yeah, Ian slapped me. That's when things got real. He hit me.
All I heard from like behind myself was Joey just saying, "Ian, don't start throwing punches." And I just was like, "Oh no!"
I think at one point I said to Ian, this is gonna stop being fun for you, Ian. And he said, "You think I'm not having fun?
No,
you think I'm not?"
That's not what we meant.
And I mean, like, I legitimately, I hope I don't get arrested for any of this, but I legitimately choked him unconscious multiple times, unconscious, and let his lip body slump to the ground, and then like go focus on you while you're freaking out, and then him just awaken like a zombie, grab me, and like, "Fuck!" All right. And I remember just getting him in a chokehold, like in a rear naked choke, and just saying to him, like, "I'm choking," and like he'll tap. and I'll let go and I'll say, okay, are we going to be done? Because I'm fucking exhausted. I'm sweaty. The mat burn.
Dude, I was bleeding.
The carpet was made of glass.
Oh, yes.
And anytime my body touched
Vegas
the
carpet.
touch the carpet, I get fucking carpet burn. I was very careful.
I still got a hole in my elbow.
Yeah. I mean, there's some scars that might never go away, fellas. Internal
Who hit me with
and
the
external.
armbar? Was it you?
Joey armbar the shit out of you. Yeah.
You thought that was him?
I don't remember who.
You
it
son
was.
of a bitch. Yeah, I armbarred the shit out of you.
I was nice to you guys.
So it was mostly you versus Shawn and me versus Ian for the most part.
Yep.
But there was a few moments where I choked Ian unconscious or put him on the ground, and then you tried to fucking attack me. And
I was on top of you at one point.
Yeah, so that was
And then
that
I
was
saw like
that's when it went bad.
The the light switch. Kind of
yeah. I was like, I
got
can't.
flipped.
I was gonna die. Ian, I could control. Like, and I mean this with love, Ian, and I gave you guys both respect. But Ian drunk was like just a sloppy mess.
Yes.
Strong and like painful to touch. Everything about his body,
bony
just
and
bony and fucking like a bag of wrenches.
Yep.
You know, but he was like easy to deal with for the most part. But then when Shawn grabbed me, it was like a strong drunk man, and I was like, oh fuck,
Yes.
oh no, like I can't mess around. And like you, like I don't know how, like you like put me on the bed, like fuck, your forearm was literally in my neck, and I felt like pain in my neck. I was like, I gotta armbar this man. So that was the only joint lock that I did because I didn't want to hurt Ian.
Yes. Yeah.
That was
But like,
that was
my only
choice.
choice. It was a
Because I
bad.
remember when it happened, I did one of these at my arm.
I get
Still there.
his arm, and he's like, I just hear him screaming like, "Get Kyle!" I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm gonna finish this.
We'll
arm.
take care of this
And
real quick.
I hear a little noise in his elbow, and he's still not tapping. I'm like, geez, like that's definitely a drunken, like a sober Shawn would have definitely conceded. And I had to like let go of it. I was like, and he's like, "Oh, you got my elbow," and then you just kept fighting.
Well, I remember multiple times I'd be wrestling with Ian, and Shawn would jump on my back to choke me, and it would be like kind of on my face, and I'd be like, "No, I'm good." And then one of the times he actually got around my neck, and I shook him off, and I looked him in the face. And I was like, "You tried to choke me?" And he was just like, "Yes, that's what you fucking do."
Well, me and Kyle as a team. I mean, you can't really. Some legendary tales of teamwork.
Yes.
What do you got? Who's the best football quarterback and wide receiver?
Oh, you got to go Manning Harrison right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is basically, that's your favorite?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like
Steve Young and
There we go.
Jerry Rice. Yep.
That's what I'm
Montana
thinking.
Rice. Yeah.
I'm your Rice.
All right,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
So we were more of like a Tom Brady, Randy Moss.
You were more
guys,
like
you guys were more of like a Rex Grossman, Muhammad, Musi Muhammad.
Trubisky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even give him that credit.
Yes.
I don't think you guys were professionals.
That's bad.
I think you guys were more like two hobos.
We'll have to talk to Matt. You guys would be a couple of people that play in his like rec football league.
How do we do a rematch down the road?
You want to?
I would like to.
I mean, I'm not against any hotel. It doesn't have to be Vegas.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be Vegas. I just think any trip after the competition, I'm down.
Yep.
I don't think we should do it before because there was some roughness. I mean, like,
no, it's got to be after. It's got to be after for sure.
If we get hurt before the competition,
yeah.
it's not worth it.
Come out there limping, popped ribs,
Because hotel grappling, it's a different ball game.
It's totally different. It was not grappling, to be honest.
No.
It was a fight. It was a legitimate fight.
I remember looking at Ian and Joey just had his shirt wrapped around his neck. He had this huge vein coming out of his forehead. I'm like, this guy's going out.
Well, I remember I was in your back and I just took all the blankets and sheets and I just put them like all over your face and stuff. And you're like, I can't breathe in here.
Yeah, I don't care.
You know when I kind of panicked was the night before in our room, right?
Yep.
When you put me in that Kimura between the two beds,
yeah.
and I freaked out and like flipped onto the table.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the environment matters. Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Much like the pit versus the flat mat, the bed, the floor, the
TV,
carpet,
the switch that broke his nose.
I forgot about my nose, man.
So at one
This
point,
thing still.
It was pretty much done. Yeah, he was
done.
He was kind of cashed out. Yep.
and then he's like, "Who hit me in the nose?" And I'm watching him like the perfect placement of where I get him a trash bin so he doesn't puke on the floor. He pukes in the trash bin, but he's laying underneath the bed or underneath the TV and the Nintendo Switch that Sergio brought. He just perfectly reaches, pulls the cord, and goes, hits him right in the nose. I was like, "Who hit him?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
I couldn't remember. Yeah, he was.
But
saying
dude,
like
I did have some good techniques in terms of my wrist was so sore.
Oh, my mount control was on. I mounted Ian for like 5 minutes straight.
I was convinced it was him, but it was like a similar shirt like this. Ian was wearing like it wasn't a fabric shirt. It was like a
Wrapped it
stretchy shirt. And I took the front, wrapped around his head, and then I took the back and wrapped around the front, and like legitimately just let him go. And he was his arms just like
That was Ian.
yeah,
for sure.
okay. I thought that was
I didn't think it was gonna work, but right in the beginning, right, like within the first 5 minutes, I just put all 4 of their legs in the saddle, and I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know
that
if they can control their legs. And I was like, wow, this is working really good.
That was impressive.
and people can make fun of us if they want. I'm not proud of this statement. But
Yeah, Cindy keeps making fun of me for this.
the original goal was just to make you guys pee your pants.
Yeah, we're gonna tickle
So
you
I'm
until
like,
you pee.
all right, like they're talking tough. I'm gonna make them little children. So like, and it worked, dude. It worked in terms of like, I mean, that was the game plan. I just figured you guys, like adults, would be like, I know none of this is
You know
adult.
who you're dealing with?
But like adults would be like, okay, guys, you guys win. See, like you guys, because we had you pinned for like 10 minutes
Yes.
of legitimately just tickling you like little kids. And Ian, like Ian's,
But that's not-
Ian's voice is like this, and Ian's like,
that really got to me. It made me start laughing here. I've actually
But
laughed.
eventually that feeling went away.
But a lesson that I learned that I never would have learned without this, and I'm proud to learn it, is that a grown man, after about 15 minutes of tickling a grown man, it just wears off.
Is a threshold.
There is no more tickle. We tickled you out. And I thought for sure you'd piss your pants. The whole time you're screaming, I'm going to pee my pants.
And you guys might have.
And I think he did. Ian's pants were soaked, and he's like, "It's sweat, it's sweat." I was pretty sure he pissed his pants. And the one funniest part, he was like, "I'm fucking beating the shit out of you," and I just hear this noise. It's like I hear this noise like a, and I'm like, "What the hell? Like, did we hit something?" And then I smell. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, Ian, you shit your pants? And I was like, I'm pretty sure you shit your pants. I didn't shit my pants. He's like, you think I'd shit my pants? Like, dude, it was the worst smell.
The best fart ever.
And I'm like, nah, maybe he didn't shit his pants. And then again, like I get on my knee on belly and I'm like holding like a wrist wrap. And I'm just fucking like pinning me on the ground. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll never quit. And I hear the same noise. I'm like, you did shit yourself. Yeah, so it is a great tale. You know,
Epic.
I'll never forget, you know, the moment where I have him in a body trial. So he just won't give up. And I gave him credit. You know, I was like, I remember even telling him, I was like, hey, this is Vegas, buddy. You know, Ian, and I'm having like motivational talks with him while I'm kicking his ass. I'm like, this is Vegas. You know, when you get home, you better not be fucking around. I want you know, you're a talented guy. I believe in you. No one else believes in you as much as I do, Ian. Quit fucking around. You got to be doing better. And he's like, you think I don't try hard? Is that what you think? And like, just like, never taking a hit. Everything's just like a fight. But then at one point, I have him in a body triangle. After choking him unconscious multiple times, and I have him in this body triangle. He can't go anywhere. It's over. The game's over. You're dead multiple times. And his voice goes from like to like, Joey, I need to stop. He goes, Joey, I need to stop. I don't feel very well. And I get off him and I'm like, oh shit. And I see him lean over, and Shawn's already puking in the corner at this point. And Kyle's in the shower.
I'm changing. I thought it was over.
Kyle's like,
I was laying there with my broken nose.
Kyle's like, do you have this? You're good. I was like, don't worry.
These boys are good.
I got
Shawn's in the
Ian.
corner.
I got Ian. I'm gonna just fuck him up. Continue. But he goes, I don't feel good. My stomach. I think I need to stop. And so I get off him and I grab him the bucket. I was like, are you gonna puke? And then he's looking over, and he turns his eyes at me, and his voice goes back to normal. He goes, you think I'd puke? No one in this building has done what I've done. And he's like, they can't handle what I can handle. And he just rises up again, tries to grab me. And then I just put him down. And he goes back to the bucket. He's but yeah, so epic tale. I would love to hear Ian's side of the story. Maybe someday we'll get his side of it. It's all lies.
It's all lies. What he needs.
And Jeremiah was he was our backup
Yeah.
plan, and that guy just never showed up.
So, you know,
Jeremiah was glued to
not to
the
throw you guys under the
glued
bus.
to the porcelain. Yeah.
Porcelain god.
Yep.
He was definitely praying for help from the toilet.
But man, did he recover the next day? He was right back to it.
Oh yeah, good for him,
Dude,
right?
He still wants that Sergio match.
He wants
Just
that
throwing it
Sergio.
out there.
Yeah, we'll also throw Sergio into the mix. I mean, I think at about 30 minutes in, Sergio came back into the room, left us just to kill you guys. Comes back in to see what's going on, and we're still just fighting, just like tumbleweeds and shit's going on. So he's like, guys, I'm hungry. He goes, guys, I'm hungry. I want to eat.
But then he left and he came back again.
So then another 30 minutes later, he comes back, and like now you're puking in the corner. The fucking switch is broken your nose, and I'm still got Ian wrapped up and like my foot on his head, like push him against the bed frame, and he's like, guys, it's enough. My credit card's down on fire. Guys, you gotta stop. He's like trying to be like cool, but like also now at this point he's like,
he's done.
Are you fucking done?
Yeah.
And I'm already like at the point too were. I wish this was over, but I'm not.
I wanted it done 30 minutes ago.
Done too. I thought it was over, but Ian can't fucking stop. And but then Sergio's like, guys, this needs to be over. I'm starving. I'm waiting for you guys. And I look at Sergio and I go, Sergio, I didn't ask you to stay here. You're an adult. Food. Go get food. I was like, I have to handle this. You think I'm going to leave?
These animals in the room?
Yeah, like you think we're going to leave these guys in my room like this? So we just keep beating the shit out of it. And at some point it slowed down.
Fixed the bed. Then we went and got pizza.
And then we got pizza. Fuck. And I just remember sitting there and like we all looked like we got in a street.
It was
we're all bleeding. Morning. Yeah, but no, we're at the pizza that night.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're all sitting at the table like Ian's so sweaty and gross. And like it was so, dude. Oh,
Dude, my nose would not stop bleeding. It was like huge swollen nose.
Oh, I love it. My eye. Do you remember Ian?
Yeah, you got knee good.
Ian hit me, and that was pretty early. Like I'm holding him down. He just threw his knee. I don't think it was on purpose.
Nope.
I don't think it was on purpose. He whipped his knee so hard in my face, and it just hit me, and I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, nice little shiner.
Oh yeah, dude. My eye. It was just a lump.
Yeah.
Whoop, just swollen up, and I was like, this motherfucker. Fuck. And then the slap in the face. I mean, there was a lot of violence happening.
Well, at one point, I said Shawn almost hit his head in like the side of the bed, like the nightstand at the edge of the bed. And so like I saved his head, and he was like, "Oh, I almost hit my head." I'm like, "I know, I saved your head." And then we fall off the bed, and I have his back, and he just slams my head in the corner of the wall. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
I'll admit, Shawn was game. Shawn was like, and then to see Shawn throw up and die, and like realize that like you guys barely know each other, you and Ian. But that's when I legitimately said, I respect you so much more, Shawn. This was like, you learn a lot about people. Number one, when they're drunk.
Yep.
You learn a lot about people in a scrap, like when you're fighting. And we do that in jiu-jitsu every day. I get to learn. I know
but
a
also
lot about
not
people
with your boys too. Like honestly, like someone might have their own back, but someone might not have your back. You know?
That's what I'm getting at, right? So like you learn a lot about people in general. Like when people are drunk, sometimes they're not your boys.
Yep.
Like when shit hits a fan, they're like, oh, they just ran away or whatever. But they, like any fight, regardless of whether you're drunk or not, and like, but then the agreement that we made was so weird. Of like, that's your guy. Me and Kyle, like you could have easily switched teams at any time.
No,
there was no grit and formal
that's not my style.
I'm just saying it could have happened, or Ian could have switched on you as soon as like things went back. Ian would be like,
"Fuck you, Shawn."
I gave you guys those options. I remember doing it intentionally, seeing like. I was like, dude, you could, like, look at the guy's vulnerable. Go get Shawn, man. And Ian's like, no. And then you're dead, and I'm beating the shit out of Ian while Kyle's in the shower. It's like, and you're like, Ian, what's the play? What do you need? What's the play, Ian? And like you reach over, grab my foot, and I just like push you off, and you start puking again. Oh, it was fun,
dude. Yeah. If we do it again, he's definitely my partner, dude.
Oh yeah.
I do have to say we didn't know afterwards that you guys had booby trapped your room because you thought it was going to happen in your room.
We were ready. You guys are lucky, man.
What did you booby trap? How'd you do it?
At one point in time, I don't know if it was me doing it or maybe it might have been Ian. But someone brought like Tabasco sauce, and this guy like we poked holes in these water bottles and filled them with water and threw some
Tabasco. Oh my god, we would have fucked you guys up. It would have got bad.
If you bring chemicals into this,
chemical warfare,
and I'm and Jeremiah's like, where do I put this? Ian's like, put it in the lamp. But it's funny too because like
someone probably got arrested for being a terrorist who got that room the next time.
You guys had a whole like Home Alone situation going on.
Dude, we were ready to go. And the funny thing is I was going to my room to grab my rash guard. We were gonna put our rash guards on,
and Sergio got you.
I was attacked.
Why did you come to our room then?
Because Sergio let him.
But why? No, why?
No, I think.
What about Sergio? You're like, all right, I'll follow you.
Well, because you guys just got back.
So you wanted to come hang out?
So I was kind of.
Like you were getting epic war.
He's probably gonna talk shit.
Yeah,
probably preempt the fight.
Shit,
good thing we grabbed him. Because I was gonna go to their room.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't want our room to get messy.
Yeah.
I didn't want us to have sweat in the fucking bed.
But honestly, too, like they would have had no access to weapons.
No, they didn't have any access.
They would. Yeah.
and especially with Jeremiah shitting in and puking in the bathroom.
Yeah. I think if it would have happened,
that would have been epic, dude.
If it would have happened in that room, I think Jeremiah would have rose to the occasion.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He'd have to be butt naked.
There would have been so much vomit all over that room.
Yeah, he's on my team.
I would be shoving his balls on you.
No fucking way.
What you don't understand, this was something that Ian never got to understand. Was like you were unconscious, Ian. So number one, your memory is not great anyway. But number two, like anything that happens, that was my choice.
That was
I
the
let
best.
you get back up. If you anything that you thought was going well was because I allowed you to. So like, if there's a naked dude and you're worried about what happens, sorry, Ian's the one's gonna be sat on by fucking. I'm gonna be holding him over you.
One of my favorite parts of the night was the 40-minute argument that Joey and Ian had, where Ian kept going like, "I don't remember you choking me out. No, I'm saying it could happen, but I don't remember it." We're like, "Yes, that's what gets choked out."
Oh,
And then he would look at me like, Shawn, did you choke me out? I'm like,
no, buddy, no.
you're good. You're asking the wrong guy.
I'm glad you guys are a good team.
You guys are the best.
I loved it. I was so and like.
I have so much respect for Ian's indomitable spirit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's man.
Really, all Ian wanted was respect too. He wanted that like he wanted me to admit like I'm the toughest motherfucker you've ever met. That's what he kept saying too. He's like,
and Ian,
anyone tougher than me? I don't think there's anyone tougher than me.
Ian, we respect the shit out of you, my friend.
Yeah, Ian's got a definitely a heart of gold.
Yep.
Or
it's definitely made out of steel. It's some sort of metal for sure.
Heart of wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. So epic stories. I hope you had a good time with Vegas.
Damn, hour and a half.
Yeah, can you believe it? That's how quick it goes.
Oh.
Hey,
Yeah,
Shawn,
Vegas.
like everyone else, whenever we ask him to do a podcast, he's like, I'm pretty boring.
I've got nothing to say.
Yeah, there's
I'm
so
a
much.
vanilla dude, man.
Yep.
I mean, Ian and Justin Pete. Those are
very
big
good
shoes to fill.
Those are
good
good
ones.
podcasts.
Yep.
If you're looking for some fun, interesting stories, go back and listen to Ian's and Justin's podcast. But trust me, people are going to like this story.
This is very good.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
So any last thoughts about Vegas, guys?
Fun trip. Yeah, I mean, so, ADCC's every 2 years. We don't know if CJI will be every year or every 2 years, but
you don't know if ADCC will be.
Yeah, but let's
In Vegas again.
We have a travel jiu-jitsu team, but like how awesome would it be if the full team picked an event every year? We can't get all your own hotel rooms, but let's all go, see some jiu-jitsu.
And we can't guarantee that we'll fight everyone in the hotel.
But I mean, we're down. If we have to do a Royal Rumble,
Dude,
you
my
send you guys
God.
in one
The
at a
next
time.
one's gonna be pretty epic.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be build up for sure.
Nope.
I mean, yeah. It's gonna
There's
be
definitely gonna be a lot of build up for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if the results are gonna be much different, but oh man, it was good. It was good.
a
I'm
good
proud
time.
of all you.
Thank you for everyone who came.
Yeah.
The Vegas trip was amazing.
Last thoughts, Shawn. How about we like to do something? We try to ask people like their goals, and this could be beyond jiu-jitsu too. But like, on the mat, off the mat, anything in your life you're looking forward to, or you feel like is giving you motivation towards training still.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think you guys make it pretty easy to show up here every day. I mean, I think I'll stop doing this when I stop having fun with it. And
Cool.
I don't see that happening anytime soon. So
Thanks,
awesome.
Thanks, Ian.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man.
For sure.
And I'm super. I'll say too, like, you give you so much respect. I look up to people like yourself who you have, full time job. Being what you do with work and having a family. You have a daughter. You have a wife.
Yep.
And the fact that you can still come out here and
Hang out with
throw
us
down, have some fun.
Go to
got it,
Jersey
man.
Mike sometimes with us.
I hope it's it's for those who are in that stage of their life. I think some people don't have that outlet. They don't have as much fun as you're having, or even just a physical challenge.
Yeah,
Some
for
people
sure.
are, and they easily put on 15, 20 pounds of fat. They
Yep.
easily start laying around at night, and they get a little depressed. And I think it happens quick.
I always say this, but like the hardest part, with going to the gym or even a workout in general is just getting in your car and getting there.
Yep.
Once you're there, it's done.
Yeah.
Once
And
you
you're-
walk through the
you're
door,
always
it's
happy
done.
you're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't live close, man. You make
It's a
trips.
hike, yeah.
You make a trip out here every day, or
Yeah.
every time you
Well,
come
how
train.
long does it take you?
It depends, man. I mean, like the comp classes,
Yep.
hitting like
Traffic.
hitting Randall and Lake Street and
Oh, you
59
take Randall.
at that
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean those days probably takes me about 50 minutes, but usually about 35.
And so just think about that,
Yeah.
everybody. That's dedication.
People
man.
complain when it
Yep.
takes them 10, 15 minutes to get somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, so I give you so much respect, man. You're a very, very important part of the school.
Thanks,
And
dude.
That's why it's important we got you immortalized in the podcast.
You're casted.
I'm not going anywhere, so
Good man.
All the way to black belt. I know we have some goals, but maybe I'll spell out a goal for you. I know we've talked about it privately. Long term, I know Shawn is interested in having his own school.
Let's do it, man.
yeah. I mean, I think got a little bit of a ways till we get there,
but you
put the goal out there.
Yeah, me
you know?
and Kyle talk about this all the time ourselves about like it's silly to like not try to look at the long term, the things that seem unattainable, like you being a black belt and being a school owner. And like, it seems like so, like, oh, it's a long time away, but you need to start vocalizing and even internally, but then saying it out loud is how we make these things come true.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah. So, you know, I really, you know, I'm saying it out loud to help, you know, let you know too in your head that it's a reality that can happen. We'll help you with it. You know, long term, it'll be a cool project for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not in any bit of hurry because if that were to happen one day, you know, it's like I look forward to coming in here and rolling with you guys, right?
Oh yeah.
So until then, I'm just, you know,
all it does is it expands our network and it expands, you know, your ability as you get older. When your daughter gets older, that you're gonna have.
She's gonna be on the mats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but that's why, you know, it's like if you love this lifestyle, you know, it's I really believe in the abundance of it. You know, you having a school, you'll still be able to train.
Yeah.
But then you'll be able to help. You're going to help more people than you ever thought you would. There'll be some young 14-year-old that walks into a gym, and hopefully it's no offense to your first experience, but I think it'll be a better experience walking into Shawn's gym than how you walked into a gym when you were 14. Yeah. You'll get, you won't be breaking their ribs right away.
Sure.
But you'll give them an outlet and give them you know, potentially a life-changing experience.
Yeah, man. I mean, and just nowadays it's so weird, right? You see all these kids kind of just glued to their screens. So it's like, you know, anytime you could give them an option to
something physical,
you know, something physical, but like I said, you know, they're having fun with it. Yeah, it could change their life.
It changed mine. I mean, I know that my life is 100% impacted by the choices that I made to train. I wouldn't be here. I mean, everything would be so different.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows?
I don't like to know.
I don't want to know.
Yep.
And man, the amount of fun I've had because of jiu-jitsu. Vegas not included.
Vegas hella included.
Yeah, no, Vegas was great. Awesome, man. Anything else, Kyle? What do you think?
No, great cast.
Coming up.
Are you competing in Chicago?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
That'll be our next big event, ADCC Chicago, end of September.
4 weeks away.
4 weeks away, so we're putting in training. If you guys, you know, if you're part of the gym and you want to do that, get yourself signed up and get some training.
Yeah, we'll come help you guys out. You know, anyone who wants to sign up, we'll make sure you guys get ready to go. And you know, training, of course, never stops for us. But you know, we're ramping it up. We're getting ready for Chicago.
Yeah, we'll probably have another couple podcasts coming out this week. We got a couple people lined up, and then October is going to be a big lot of competitions and stuff too. So we got a lot of stuff coming up.
It's nonstop.
Yep, you guys are going to see us competing a lot towards the end of the year.
All this, this last 4 months or whatever, this end of the year is going to be a
that's the final quarter.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
And where's Mark's grand opening?
Grand opening this Saturday, coming up on the 7th. Our student Mark, who opened the Grapplers Academy in St. Charles, it's in Campton Hills. It's about 20 minutes from here. We're doing a grand opening for him. I'm going to teach a free seminar.
Awesome.
And kickstart his school a little bit. You know, it's brand new, small location. Mm-hmm. Similar story. That's what I'm. Yeah. It's that's my biggest joy is to try to touch as many people as we can with jiu-jitsu, and I can't do it in one place.
Yep.
So I want to help people facilitate that more, and you know that's our goal.
Beautiful.
So it's just expanding our network for what we're doing.
Cool.
And Mark's a great guy, and he works really hard. He's got a lot of he's got a family too, same thing, and he's struggling through trying to build a school.
Yep.
And doing it on your own is just impossible.
Yeah. So
we're here to help, and so that's next Saturday, and anyone's welcome to free to come out. It's a free seminar, so it'd be good to pack his mats for Saturday.
Awesome. So we'll be doing that as well.
And then we'll do a podcast with him.
We'll do a podcast with Mark. So we got a lot of stuff set up, guys. So
thanks for listening.
Yep. Keep it rolling. Keep joining us. This will be a fun podcast. We'll see you guys next week.